Thank you, Richard. Welcome to Pretoria and welcome to the Loftus-Versfeld Stadium where the floodlights are on. Still plenty of daylight left yet though. Grey skies above. The blue skies have disappeared for the time being in our part of South Africa. And Paraguay against Japan, the penultimate game in the last 16 round at this 2010 World Cup is underway, and we've already had an attempt at goal from Yoshito Akuba for Japan from the left-hand side about 25 yards out, but he dragged his shot wide. But we're still in the first minute of the game. Both countries, Paraguay and Japan, attempting to reach the World Cup quarter-finals for the first time. So a really big day for the football followers in those two countries. And plenty of space inside the ground, lots and lots of empty blue seats, so it's quite a good way under full capacity, even though the media centre today was absolutely packed. I think it's the fullest media centre that I've seen at this World Cup. Japan are playing in the almost all blue kit with the white trim, and Paraguay in the red shirts with the red and white stripes on the front, white shorts, red and white striped socks. And there's a free kick. That really was a hefty challenge on Riveros, Sunderland's new signing, and a free kick to Paraguay inside their own half. And it could easily have been a yellow card for Matsui. Chris Waddle's watching here with us, former England World Cup player. Yeah, it was a late challenge. Could have been yellow. I think good referee now. It's very early in the game. One thing I like about Japan is how compact they are. They play together, technically very good. They play a lot of short football, well organised. So Paraguay bringing it forward with Roque Santa Cruz of Manchester City, who commits a foul, and it's a free kick to Japan inside their own half. So Paraguay, Japan, these are the teams. Paraguay, Villar, the goalkeeper, is their captain. At the back, Bonnet, Da Silva, Alcaraz and Morel. In midfield, Ortegoza, his first appearance at this World Cup, Vera and Riveros, with Barrios, Santa Cruz and Benitez up front. It is Paraguay on the attack. I'll run you through the Japanese side in a moment or two, but they've got it on the right-hand side with Santa Cruz, who just rolls it infield towards Vera, who now swings it to the left-hand side to Morel, who controls the bouncing ball, but then Japan win it back halfway inside their own half. So the Japanese side, Kawashima is their goalkeeper. At the back, Komano, Nakazawa, vastly experienced, his 109th cap, Tanaka and Nagatomo, as a shot comes in from the right-hand side. From the right back, Komano, which was on target, but that was very optimistic to have a go from there, straight at the goalkeeper. Yeah, but so far, it's going to take a while for this game to settle. I know Paraguay played three up front, they like to get it, seems. And here they come down the left-hand side with Benitez racing on towards the dead ball line. Sliding challenge comes in from Komano, who's just had that shot at the other end to put it out for a corner. The rest of the Japanese side, Abe is their holding midfielder, Matsui to his right, Endo to his left, Hasebe the captain, and Okobu pushing forward on the flanks, and Honda, who's having a very good World Cup as the central man in that attack, having scored a couple of goals already at the tournament. You've got to look at Paraguay. Roque Santa Cruz is so in anybody on the pitch, and I think this is where Paraguay can cause Japan. For all they've got two good centre-halves now, Japan, that they can cause problems from set pieces. Not the tallest team. 0-0 on 5 Live at the World Cup. 4th minute of this game, first corner. Paraguay have it. Frank de Bleekere is the referee, the Belgian, very familiar to us from the Champions League. And the usual carry on at a corner, just wanting to make sure all the players are aware that they're not supposed to push and shove each other, and then that's of course exactly what they'll do. And the referee blows his whistle. Corner to Paraguay then, in towards the near post, and it's headed away quite comfortably for Japan by Nagatomo. Paraguay have got it back, one of the 4 South American countries now left in this World Cup tournament. Japan the only Asian side. And then a foul committed by Da Silva of Sunderland, and a free kick to Japan in their own defensive third. So what about it, Chris? Paraguay, Japan, who do you think is I've been looking more likely to win it? I saw Japan play in the stadium against Cameroon. I thought they were very, very good. Played very well. They beat Denmark 3-1, which I don't think many people give them a chance. But Paraguay, yes, they've looked good at times, but they couldn't break New Zealand down. So it's a very even game, but I've just got a slight favour to Japan. I think they've just got a little bit better organisation. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. Japan have named the same team for all 4 matches, and that has to be a good thing, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, you've got a good balance. He's obviously been pleased the way the players have performed. So Paraguay, who've made 5 changes for this game. One of them is enforced, Victor Caceres. in centre midfield is suspended. That is why Ortigosa is in for his first start and first appearance at this World Cup. Foul committed on Abe, the holding midfielder, and Japan have a free kick 10 yards inside their own half. So the winners of this will play Spain or Portugal, who play in that big game tonight in Cape Town. We'll have commentary on that from 7:30 this evening. Free kick for Japan. The unmistakable figure of Tulio Tanaka with his hair pulled up and tied behind his head. The number 4 for Japan will take this free kick, and he just drifts it forward towards Honda, who is clattered from behind by De Silva. The ball bounces out of play, but the referee says it is only a throw-in. Clean challenge. Throw-in is wasted by Japan, but the challenge comes in and puts it out of play for a throw-in to the Japanese. 15 yards now inside the Paraguayan half. It's going to be taken just next to where Gerardo Martino, the Paraguayan coach, is standing with his hands behind his back. And then a ball pumped into the penalty area from centre field. It's an easy one for goalkeeper Villar to deal with, and he overarms it out. And Paraguay begin to bring it forward with De Silva. Now into centre field, where Ortigosa gets a second chance with it. Now to the right-hand side for them. And Santa Cruz is there, drifts further out towards the right wing, then curls his ball in towards the penalty area. Swept away, back out to Santa Cruz on the right. Santa Cruz's cross, good one towards the back post, and it took a touch. Two Paraguayan players actually went for it together. Benitez and I think it was Alcaraz, and the two of them have collided, and they're down on the edge of the 6-yard box.
It is Riveros and Benitez have collided, and it looked like quite a nasty fall. He's really took his legs away as he's in the air. Awkward landing for Benitez. I think he's caught his teammate in the face with his elbow, Riveros, and the physio's on, and I'm sure they'll be okay. But it was a great bit of play by Santa Cruz to keep the ball in with his chest. One touch, great delivery.
And the two of them, I'm pleased to say, are back up on their feet. They could have done serious damage to one another, the two teammates, Benitez and Riveros, but they're both okay. Neither of us needed treatment, and play will continue with a throw into Japan in their own right back position. Santa Cruz on the right hand side. Well, we were more familiar seeing him right in the middle as the target man, but that's certainly one, very nearly two decent crosses into the Japanese penalty area already by him. Throw-in's taken to Japan and is put straight out of play by Paraguay for a throw. So 0-0, very early stages. Chris Waddle.
Well, both teams, I think you're going to see this for the first 20-25 minutes, John. I think both teams are working hard. As you say, they've never been in a quarter-final before. What an achievement for both countries. And I think both at the minute are just playing very, very fast football, trying to close each other down. A lot of mistakes. It needs to settle down again.
Japan with it, and here is Honda, gives it to the left-hand side. Okubo, two Paraguayan players with him, and in the end one of them has played it onto Okubo, and it bounces behind for a goal kick to Paraguay. Paraguay have made it to the last 16 of the World Cup, which is where they are now, 3 times before. I well remember sitting with Alan Green watching them against France at France 98 when Laurent Blanc scored the golden goal to win it for the French in that game. And Paraguay have actually never scored a goal at this stage of the World Cup before, despite having been here 3 times before. So I suppose that's the immediate target for them. Here they come forward as the vuvuzelas are gently blowing in the background, shall we say. Ball forward from Bonnet, the right back, but it's blocked. Very even in the early stages. Again, Santa Cruz has got it on the right-hand side near the halfway line. He goes down and he's won the free kick from Hasebe.
He actually plays the right side very well, doesn't he? I mean, they're not wingers. There's no way they're wingers. They're allowed to come in well off the touchline. They can get long, tuck in to play alongside the striker, but he actually holds the position well, and he's always had good first touch.
You know what I was saying about the vuvuzelas being blown gently? We can change that now. Free kick to Paraguay near the halfway line. Morel swings it in left-footed, too close to the goalkeeper Kawashima, who had a little juggle, and then good delivery away downfield, and Matsui is off after it and just keeps it in on the right-hand side. Challenge comes in on him, and it's won back for Paraguay by Ortigosa, and Paraguay will bring it away. But that was nearly very effective for them. A nice turn on the halfway line for Paraguay and for Barrios, and then it's just a little scrappy in centre field. and it falls to Ortigoza, who goes for sweeps the ball right-footed. He effectively tried to do what the Japanese goalkeeper did a few moments ago, but overhit it by some distance, and it's through for a goal kick.
Ortigoza, you can see already, he likes a challenge, doesn't he? He doesn't hang back, and he obviously enjoys his food as well.
Well, he hasn't played yet, so I mean, to be honest, Chris, the food in South Africa has been outstanding.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't mean he's going to have seconds, is it?
It's never stopped you. Mind you, you're not playing in this one. Goal kick to Japan. That's been one of the roaring successes of this World Cup tournament. Feeding time. Japan belted forward from Kamano at right back, but that effectively just gives possession back to Morel. So 0-0 between Paraguay and Japan. It's already been a wildly successful World Cup for Japan. I don't think expectations were too high among the followers of the Blue Samurai, as they're known, but they've won 2 matches here. First time they've won matches at the World Cup outside their own country, and here they are in the last 16. 0-0. Still very early stages, just over 10 minutes played. The Wimbledon coverage, by the way, will continue over on 5 Live Sports Extra. If you haven't heard, already 2 surprises in the women's. Venus Williams is knocked out, the 5 times winner, and Kim Clijsters has also been knocked out. So Peronkova and Zvonareva are the 2 players to move on at their expense. Goal kick to Paraguay. Their supporters are dotted around the stadium here, as are the Japanese. Lots of their distinctive flags, the white flags with the red circle in the middle. And Paraguay now with De Silva, the hunch-shouldered central defender. Here's Santa Cruz again on the right-hand side. Rolls it back infield towards Ortigoza. And then again to Riveros to the left. That was hit with some pace, but it was kept in play. Riveros makes himself available, but it comes back to the number 20, Ortigoza. And Paraguay quite happy just to keep possession, and Japan happy to play with all of their men behind the ball. Then a long ball forward from centre field, just skids through for a goal kick.
Well, you can give Paraguay credit. They've got a lot of width, they've got a lot of movement. They really are trying to chase this first goal down, and Japan, as you say, just sit behind the ball. They leave Honda quite high up the field, and they're just trying to play counter-attacking football, which has been a good success for them in this tournament.
10 teams left in this World Cup now, and we're watching 2 of very much of the outsiders, probably along with Ghana.
Yeah, and Uruguay.
And to me, the start of the game, it looks that way as well.
It would be very nervous. You know, this is a big game for both countries. As you said before, John, they've never been this far, but they've never got the quarter-finals, have they? So it is a massive game. And when you look at the fixture, they must have thought, hey, tell you what, we've got a very good chance here of going to the quarter-finals.
Free kick to Japan. And Endo is going to... looks the favourite to take it with his right foot, although Matsui is there as well. Endo strikes the free kick in towards the penalty spot. It's headed out towards this left-hand side, the Japanese left. That looked like a handball. The referee spots it, and it is a free kick to Paraguay. Abe handballs it, free kick to Paraguay in their own right-back area.
Good delivery, though. You've seen a lot of them free kicks, haven't we, from 40, 45, 50 yards out, where they just basically put it with a lot of pace on the target, and their whole bodies get across and maybe distract the goalkeeper or get a glance, slight flick, which could go in the back of the net.
But already, you know, the game that we've seen here tonight is nothing like the match that Alan and I were commentating on last night between Brazil and Chile. And Paraguay take possession again in front of their own penalty area. Alcaraz, who's returned to the side after a little bit of an injury, back in the team, but then passed straight out of play by Ortigoza again, who I'm not sure whether we're talking about how the players and the teams have got used to this ball now. I think Ortigoza needs a little more practice with it. That's about 3 balls he's overhit from centre field. Paraguay again. Santa Cruz moves into a central area but loses out in the challenge, and it comes out towards this left-hand side to Nagatomo, the left-back. Honda now turns, but it runs away from him and it's played back to goalkeeper Villar to our left. Honda tries to close him down. Villar clears. Long through the middle. Nakazawa with the header. Now to the right-hand side. Matsui is there. Back it goes to Kamano, the right-back. Abe hits that straight out of play.
Well, both teams need to settle down, don't they? It's simple as that. I think Paraguay passed the ball slightly better than Japan, but both teams
there's not a lot in it.
Very nervous.
Yeah, very, very nervous. So there's nothing to ignite us yet. Not a single note made. Quarter of an hour played, and it's Paraguay 0, Japan 1-0. So great game in this stadium. I think one of the best games of the tournament, the Cameroon-Denmark match. Famous old rugby union stadium, Loftus Versfeld. Although two of the big South African football teams play here as well. The Mamelodi Sundowns and Super Sport United play their matches here. But I think it's most and best known in South Africa as being the home of the Blue Bulls, the rugby union team. Paraguay with the ball on the left-hand side. Benitez is there. Edgar Benitez. It's pulled back to Ortigoza, who thinks better of the long ball forward this time. Little layoff. Gets it back. Ortigoza then digs a ball through the middle, looking for Santa Cruz, but he's beaten in the air by Nakazawa, and it bounces down for Japan to bring it away through Okubo. And then the ball forward with Honda running back towards the halfway line through to the goalkeeper.
He's just isolated, Honda. You can't. They're far too far off him. It's, you know, they've got a back four very close together. They've got a lane of 5 across the midfield, Japan, and Honda's just 30 yards away from the rest of the players. He's just so isolated.
And then another long ball for Paraguay, doesn't reach the left back Morel, so it's out of play for a throw-in to Japan. So Japan not able to get into their stride in the way that we saw them. I thought they were quite vibrant, really a good team to watch when they knocked out the Danes with that 3-1 win in Rustenburg in the final group match, when either of the two of them could have gone through. Long ball forward from Hasebe, but it's too far ahead of Okubo and goalkeeper Villa, who's seen a lot of the balls in the early stage. Villa, their goalkeeper and captain, very experienced, 32, almost 33, the Paraguayan keeper. Here is De Silva again, who plays it to his left to Alcaraz. And then Alcaraz just steps up pace. Low pass through, but that's beyond Barrios, and it's deteriorating.
It's not getting any better, I can say that. And it's... come on, boys, liven up.
It's you two. It's you and Alan. I don't think you've seen a decent game between you.
Do the women not play 5 sets?
Here come Japan again then, with Nagatomo on the left, but Paraguay are just as well drilled as Japan, and the blue shirts have to turn and go back into their own half. Now here's Endo. Out it goes to the right-hand side to Honda, who's dropped deep and plays a little ball through the middle, but that was red, intercepted by De Silva, who just stepped forward and plunked it out of play again for a throw.
Well, it's committed some players over the halfway line this time, Japan.
So the ball quickly back in play, returned by a ball boy, and Hasebe was after it, but it was poked away. Benitez has some space in front of him. Benitez up the left-hand side. There's only Barrios ahead of him, so he looks and he swings a high pass out towards the right-hand side, but that is miscontrolled by Vera, and Japan have it back, and then it's lost by Matsui, and this is scrappy in the extreme. Out of play for a throw. This is the worst I've seen yet.
This is not the sponsors game beforehand, is it?
I'm going to try and stay away from you two. Throw in to Paraguay inside their own half, and this is the last 16 of the World Cup. Ball hooked in field by Barrios to no one in a red and white striped shirt, so Japan have it back again. Abe back to Nakazawa, and now Tulio. Again the long ball bounces away from Matsui. Paraguay have got it back forward in the air towards Vera, who jumps for it. Then Santa Cruz heads it down, and Ortigoza just punts it to the left hand side. Morel actually takes that down quite nicely. Slightly better from Paraguay. Ortigoza, I don't think he knows quite where to go with it. In actual fact, that was very nearly a decent ball with Morel down the left, but again overhit. Throw in.
You're just trying to make this game a bit better, John. Be honest, it was a half decent effort.
Half decent.
Half decent, come on.
0-0. 20 minutes played. And a throw into Japan that goes up towards Honda. And now cleared by Komano. Paraguay have won it back. Japan can't keep possession. Back it comes into the middle. Brilliant turn by Barrios. Barrios is through, shoots, blocked by the goalkeeper. Still inside the 6-yard box. Cleared away by Japan. And in the 20th minute, some excitement. Well done, Paraguay. Well done, Barrios, for producing it for us.
Should have scored. It was the best bit of play of the game by far. And he gets in one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He's got to score there. Great opportunity.
Goalkeeper saved it with his legs, very nearly fell to a red shirt inside the penalty area, but Japan survived, and Paraguay, first real chance of the game, still 0-0. Paraguay again, Vieira with a ball. Well, I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to do with that. I think it was intended to be a cross, overhit, high over the bar, goal kick.
Well, we're getting the benefit of the replay. Great turn in the box, wasn't it? Fantastic turn, and he just basically hit it straight at the goalkeeper's legs. You know, hit it with a bit of pace or lifted high into the net. The goalkeeper's going down quite early, straight at the goalkeeper's legs. Very easy save.
Yeah, it was on the left side of the box. Went for it with his right foot. Needed to be a left foot finish from that position, but Barrios and the save by the goalkeeper Kawashima. So Paraguay 0, Japan 0. World Cup on BBC 5 Live. Matsui's going to hit a shot. Oh, the goalkeeper backpedaling. Whether he got a touch or not, I'm not sure, but it certainly struck the bar and went over.
Fantastic effort, that. Great strike. Really. I thought the goalkeeper was well beaten. Matsui's a very good player. Been impressed with him in this tournament. Goalkeeper was well beaten. Luckily for him, it's at the top of the bar and gone into the crowd.
Yep, hit the top of the bar, bounced up into the air. Goalkeeper might have had it covered. But there we are, suddenly it's burst into life. And it's been given away by Paraguay. And here's Matsui again. Square pass towards Honda, 25 yards out. Paraguay quickly back in numbers. Akubu plays it over the top. Headed away, and it's headed out to Paraguay. And Benitez will take it down, and it'll be cleared away by Morel. So suddenly a bit of life in the game, with the chance for Barrios at one end for Paraguay, and then for Matsui at the other. And he did hit it nicely, didn't he?
I think Japan play better when they come up the field like they are the last couple of minutes, and they put teams under pressure. They work very hard for each other. But when they drop off like this, you know, they take the sting out again. It's, you know, I'm all for dropping off and getting together again, compact. But I think Japan look better when they're high up the field, pressing teams.
Well, we've not had a penalty shootout yet at this World Cup. Ball from the left-hand side from Benitez, but driven straight behind the near post, and it is a goal kick, and it is Paraguay 0, Japan 0, and here's Alan Green to take you through to half-time.
Thanks very much, John. Barrios, who had that goal effort for Paraguay a moment or so ago, had to go off to receive some treatment. Bit of a controversial figure, Chris, because he's actually Argentinian, strictly speaking, and he only got Paraguayan citizenship as late as April, you know, but he was willing. I think he actually wanted to play for Argentina, but they didn't want him, and that's not just Maradona. They didn't want him, so he chose Paraguay, and he was very close to giving them the lead. That was an excellent shot from Matsui that hit the crossbar. I actually think the goalkeeper, Vilar, the captain of Paraguay, was beaten. Anyway, before those two efforts, not a lot could be said, apart from comments about the rotundity of one Ortigoza, who you were speculating may not be familiar with the Jubilani ball. He knows his meatballs, lots of gravy. He's in the team today because they made changes.
He's actually not a bad player.
No, he's a good player.
He puts his foot on it, he's got an eye for a pass, but I don't think he lasts 90 minutes, put it that way.
No, I'm not sure how much physical strength he has in terms of running up and down the pitch, but certainly the ball is attracted by him in the centre of that Paraguayan midfield. Paraguay have the ball, then they give it away. Tulio Tanaka heads it clear. He's born in Brazil, the central defender for Japan. Now that's a good ball, flicked to the right side, but Bonnet couldn't keep it in play, and it's going to be a throw in to Japan, only 4 or 5 yards from their corner flag. Paraguay 0, Japan 0.
They've actually struggled, Paraguay, down this right hand side, and Bonnet and Vieira, they've never got a hold of the ball. Santa Cruz has had a couple of good crosses, but the full-back and the lad who's playing on the right of the three in midfield can't seem to get a hold of the ball and pass it.
2 shocks in the women's singles at Wimbledon. Svetlana Poronkova from Bulgaria beat Venus Williams, and then Vera Svonareva beat Kim Clijsters from Belgium. People thought it was going to be Williams and Clijsters in the semi-final. No, it ain't. So that certainly opens up that half of the draw, so to speak. 2 major upsets. Here, no goal. Paraguay and Japan. Paraguay on the attack for the moment. It's headed on by Riveros, gets a kindly bounce, headed away by the Japanese defence, by Tanaka, and now it's whipped clear by Kamano upfield towards Honda, who plays for CSK Moscow. That's a really good player. didn't get anything in that opportunity. Now Benitez, back to Riveros, good ball to the left side. They're queuing up inside the Japanese penalty area, the Paraguayans, but it's overhit the cross. Kept in play by Bonnet, the right back. Fed back to Ortigoza, and Ortigoza early cross into the penalty area, headed clear by Camano, and it's out for a throw into Paraguay.
Well, Paraguay do look threatening, don't they, when they get it away? They've got some big players in the middle of that box. If the delivery's right.
25 minutes gone, the first Mexican wave goes around the arena. We had a Mexican wave last night, but I think that was actually an appreciation of the football that they were seeing between Brazil and Chile. This one is definitely out of boredom. 0-0, throw in to be taken by Morel into the Japanese penalty area and headed by Nakazawa away and cleared upfield by Matsui. Played back by the Paraguayans, and once more Japan clear. Here's Endo trying to cause confusion in that Paraguayan defence, but loses the ball. Honda can't pick it up, and it's back to the goalkeeper Villar. Lovely banner regarding Honda. Quote, run like a motor.
Well, he's normally very reliable, very economical, and you get a three-way warranty with him.
And I'm just going to give you the line. I knew you'd take it up and run with it beautifully. Chris Wall's been in great form this week. If you didn't hear that rant after England-Germany, you've got to find out a way of hearing it. Paraguay 0, Japan 0 here on 5 Live. 27 minutes played in Pretoria. Paraguay in possession on the far side of the field. Then the move breaks down. And here's Matsui running up, and then, that was poor from him, running straight into Riveros. Riveros flicks it towards the left-hand side. Can we get a decent cross into the penalty area? Santa Cruz is there. It's played in low and skips off a Japanese head behind for a corner.
That's the first time I've seen this Japanese team actually look a bit leggy, a little bit tired. I don't know if it's nerves coming into a big game, and no, if you lose this, you go home. We all know that. I just wonder if it's a little bit of nervous energy, that they just don't look as if they can cover the ground they have in previous matches.
No Asian team has ever beaten South American opposition at a World Cup finals. We've got a corner to the South Americans, to Paraguay. Morel to take it from the far side of the field. He's the left back. He's going to deliver it left-footed. In my count, 5 players representing Paraguay inside the Japanese penalty area. Nearly 28 minutes played. We wait for the first goal. There's the usual huddle around the penalty spot. No doubt they're holding on to each other. Here comes Morel. Good deep cross. Header down. And a chance for Rocky Santa Cruz. He shoots wide left-footed.
What an opportunity that was. We said set pieces are a big, strong side, Paraguay. Good delivery with a lot of pace on it. And when it fell to him, you just thought Santa Cruz, yes, this is it. 7 yards out. On your left foot. Nice volley. He actually got put off by Honda, who really lunged at him with a two. It was quite a high challenge, which I think just put him off slightly, and he went way to the target.
You know, they say the Japanese are inscrutable. Have you seen any close-ups of the face of the coach, Takeshi Okada? What a miserable sod he looks. Unbelievable. I have not seen him smile in this tournament, even when Japan score. It's the second time he's been in charge of the national team. He also had France 98. And when he got the job, the second time around, they organised a petition to try to take it away from him. Anyway, he's in charge, and look what's happened. They're in the last 16 for the first time outside of Japan. They've won a game at a World Cup. Indeed, they've won 2 games at a World Cup, Cameroon and Denmark. So the Japanese have done really well, but can they go a step further? Can they get a place in the last 8 to play either Spain or Portugal? Ortigoza, the rotund midfield player for Paraguay, plays it to Morel, and Morel on to Benitez on the far side of the field. He takes his eye off the ball, lifts his boot, and the ball runs out of play for a throw.
I've got to say though, apart from Matsui's effort, which hit the ball and went into the crowd, Japan have not really got out their own half. It's been all Paraguay pressure wise. All right, we're looking for a little bit of quality. They've had 2 good chances, but Japan's got to really get up the field and start working a little bit harder, get close to this team. They're
basically leaving Honda off on his own, and there's no support for him. And even though he strikes me as being a really good player, he can't show it. Here's Santa Cruz, who's seen a lot of the ball in the opening half an hour here in Pretoria, and then that's really lazy from him. Loses it. Honda knocks it upfield, and good refereeing by Frank de Bleeker. He spotted that Santa Cruz had fouled Honda, and it's a free kick on the halfway line.
Well, he's got to watch Santa Cruz. He's already had a yellow, hasn't he, in the last game, so he could be,
he would be suspended for the quarter-final.
To be fair, Honda did well. He got there just before him. Santa Cruz did pull up. Honda goes down, but he gets up. He realises he doesn't been touched.
And a shot from long range after the free kick was taken. A shot by Tanaka, but that's, from the halfway line? Is that expected to beat the goalkeeper?
I just wonder if Tanaka's believed some of the publicity. He's been a bit of a character on this side, and they've got two good centre-backs now, Japan, good in the air. But this game so far, he's tried every impossible ball possible.
That's a good line too. He's tried every impossible ball possible. I understand what you're saying. Millions won't. By the way, the FA are, I gather, rumoured to be thinking about employing me as a personal public relations director.
Yeah, in Australia.
But Paraguay 0, Japan 0. 14 minutes to go to half-time. And you wonder why we're talking around the game, folks. Frankly, there's not a lot to talk about in the game. Here's Nakazawa. Nakazawa, that's a good ball to the left-hand side of the field. Nagatomo, one of 3 Japanese players against whom there's a yellow card. He's got to be careful. It's hit towards the right side, headed away. Abe picks it up. That's good work by the defensive midfield player. Getting it to Matsui in the far side of the field. Then Kamano, the fullback, involved. Matsui again. And now lots of dark blue shirts in attacking position. Ball driven into the penalty. And I think that was cleared by the thigh of Bonnet. And just as well, because there was a Japanese player standing directly behind him, ready to go through and goal.
A terrific delivery, wasn't it, from that right hand
side?
A lot of pace on it, and that could have went anywhere. Give Bonnet credit, come off his knee, cleared the lanes.
Just seeing, it was from the captain, Hasebi, and Bonnet, he played it off his left knee. Terrific clearance. But we could do with an error, couldn't we? Because we could do with a goal.
We need a goal.
Paraguay 0, Japan 0, here on 5 Live. Tonight we've got Spain against Portugal. That's in Cape Town. 7:30 kickoff, and I think clearly that's a huge fixture. Some local rivalry at stake there, you'd think. Barrios, the Argentine-born, but now Paraguayan international, the striker, plays it back to the halfway line to Morel. Morel flicks it to the Sunderland player, De Silva, hoping for a lot more action next season in the Premier League than he had last season. It's hit down the right side towards Roque Santa Cruz. Across comes Tanaka. Well played, Tanaka. Carefully ran away outside Santa Cruz. And now it's cleared by Nakazawa. Tanaka again. That's good work out of defence by Japan. And there's a sprint by Hasebi in the far side of the field. Tanaka will have spotted it, but plays it short instead to Matsui, whose pass was wretched to the fullback Kamano. And it's out of play for a throw-in.
It just shows you at times how Japan, when they move the ball quickly, which they have on occasions, they can really get at this side, but they just play too deep at the minute. They're quite happy to run it. I don't know if the tactics, what they've got in mind, do they picture extra time, do they picture what, but they're sitting far too deep for me.
12 minutes to half time. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. Roque Santa Cruz back with a pass to De Silva, and now to Villar, the goalkeeper. Onto the far side of the field and taken up by Alcaraz. Alcaraz moves up to the halfway line, then he gets dizzy, checks and plays it towards the right side where it's taken up by Bonnet. And now into Ortegoza inside the centre circle, and he's hitting it towards the left side. That's accurately played, though looked like a handball by Benitez. Referee didn't spot it, and anyway it was cleared, at least partially cleared by Japan. Back into the Paraguayan half. Ortegoza once more. And he might look overweight, but he can... I'm about to say he can control the ball well. He just lost it easily to Honda. Honda to Okubo. On to Honda again. There's danger here for Paraguay. As Honda approaches the penalty, crosses it in, and it's cleared before Okubo can do anything with that cross, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Paraguay.
Well, there's a goal by Ortegoza. He's very good on the ball. He is. He can control it. He's got a great eye for a pass. But the one thing he kind of do, we've seen twice now, he's been caught. He can't run with it.
It must be a wonderful life for Mrs. Okada, the wife of the coach. Abject misery all the time. And by the way, our producer's fallen asleep across the way. No, he's not. He's awake. Just closed his eyes in misery at what he's been watching so far. 10 minutes to go to half-time. It has to wake him up. Benitez running beyond the centre circle. Tackle comes in from Kamano. Benitez challenges again, but only diverts it to Japanese possession. And it's hit crossfield. Oh, great control by Honda. Was that a foul tackle?
Well, I didn't think it was.
I didn't think it was a foul tackle at all, but he's given a free kick.
Well, we saw what they did against. They scored 2 free kicks against Denmark, didn't they?
Yep. Well,
this is a good position to hit the target.
No, that was a clean tackle by De Silva. Honda went down and the follow-through. Gerardo Martino, the Argentine coach of Paraguay, indicating to the fourth official it was definitely a dive in his view, but it's unquestionably a free kick. Now, this is within range for Endo. De Silva certainly took the ball first.
It was just his second leg following through, and it caught Honda.
Inside the last 10 minutes of the first half, Paraguay 0, Japan 0. But Endo, who's a dead ball specialist, the current Asian Player of the Year, he will think, despite the acute angle, this is within range.
He's got to shoot. He's got to shoot.
What do you play for the far post or the near post? The near post?
I would go near. I think the goalkeeper anticipated a cross, probably just inside the on line with the penalty area.
That's right. He's gone toward the far post.
But he's got to hit it. He's got to hit it.
He's got to hit it very quickly, sharply. Endo from around about 35 yards. No, it's a cross into the penalty. Oh, goodness, almost an own goal. But it's headed behind for a goal kick. Rocky Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz heads it away for a corner kick. It's a great delivery. And they should be goals. Should be goals.
Yeah, it was excellent from Endo. And as I say, dead ball specialist, takes the corner as well. Gets it back from a colleague, plays it in deep. Honda was there, headed up and away. Headed back into the Paraguayan penalty area. Cleared once more. And then a complete missed jump there by Endo. And Paraguay can counter-attack here. It's with Vera. Feeding it on towards the penalty area. Towards Barrios. Oh, well, Barrios, flicked by the defender, fell down, claimed he was fouled. No, you weren't. Goal kick.
Well, it was another sloppy ball by Vera. He plays it round him, but it's a terrible dive. He's not going to get a penalty kick for that.
He should be yellow carded for that, actually. It was so embarrassing an attempt at a dive. 8 minutes to go to half-time. It has not been a great game, but it actually has livened up over the last 15 minutes. And we've had 2 good efforts. One from Barrios that the goalkeeper saved, and then a terrific shot for Japan by Matsui that beat the goalkeeper VR, but bounced off the crossbar away to safety. Referee again spots an infringement. I think a foul on Alcaraz. De Silva's going to take the free kick. He just stabs it left-footed to the right side towards Bonnet. Bonnet, one of the 4 changes made by Paraguay today. Now De Silva to Alcaraz on the far side of the field. The full-back Morel is already inside the Japanese half. It's a little bit sluggish, the build-up from Paraguay, unlike the other South American teams that we've seen, particularly Chile last night. Then, as they do play the ball forward, Tanaka steps forward, wins it, finds, has to be his Matsui. Matsui on the far side to Kamano. Kamano rushes forward with the right full-back. Now, Honda makes himself available. Kamano doesn't need him, he thinks. Can he get the cross into the near post? It's caught, but taken behind. Oh, no, I thought for just a second that the goalkeeper had taken the ball behind for a corner. It's actually a goal kick. He caught it behind the goal line.
You just wish Japan would be like this, more positive all the time. You know, when they go forward, they get bodies. They're a very fit side. They get a lot of bodies forward, and they do cause problems. But the trouble is, in long spells, they're quite happy to sit deep, get everyone behind the ball, and let Paraguay pass around. I think if you put this back four under pressure, Paraguay, you will get a lot of chances.
What I do love about the Japanese, though, there is no arrogance.
Oh, great.
You know, we saw that in evidence before kick-off, didn't we, Chris? I'll tell listeners to 5 Live about that in a minute. As they're on the attack, Matsui into Honda. Here's an opportunity. Honda's shot is wide. Good chance. Not taken.
He should have rolled it on again. Ikubo on the left was on his own. He drawn the defenders. Matsui, great run. Honda draws the 2 defenders. He just plays it again and onto another ball. Ikubo's on. He's in and he's on one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
I mean, he wasn't that far wide, but it was a wasted chance.
And he's a confident player at the moment. He scored goals. He's had a good tournament.
And if he scores, Japan win the game. Because that's happened 6 times. There's 6 goals and a Japanese shirt have each led to victories. What I was about to say, Chris, was, and you saw it too, you know, during their warm-up, they stood in a line, bowed to the crowd, and waved and applauded. It's as if we really appreciate that it's a privilege being here, and I thought that was a great gesture.
What they are. I think they really, really enjoy coming to these tournaments. They love it.
They're defending at the moment. It's with Nagatomo with a clearance. Tried to keep it in play, but it goes out in front of his coach, and it's a throw into Paraguay. Taken by Bonet, on by Ortigoza, and now the new Sunderland signing, Riveros. He's going on a free. When Steve Bruce first inquired on it about him, he was quoted 10 million. I haven't seen 10 million's worth so far. Cross end of the Japanese penalty area. Very well defended by Nagatomo, and great control by Honda from the clearance. Finding Okubo onto Honda. Tackle comes in from De Silva, and it's out for a Japan throw-in. He's a good player, Honda.
Very good, very good. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of clubs looking at him after this tournament.
I mean, I know
it's very difficult to get out.
You get well paid in Russia these days because they've got a lot of dosh. But I think Western Europe is an ideal scenario for that player. He's tall, he's physical, but he's got great technique. The throw goes in his direction now, and De Silva pushed Honda in the back, so it's a free kick to Japan again. Once more, it's a little too wide and a little too far out for Endo.
It is a little bit, but he could put a terrific delivery in. The two centre-halves are going up now, along with Honda in the middle. He's just got to keep putting them deliveries on, so somebody will get on the end of it. But what Japan have done well the last 10 minutes, they've actually squeezed the game and they're putting them under pressure. When you see a pressurised Paraguay, they give the ball away very, very easily. The
free kicks from the left-hand side, midway inside the Paraguay half. 2 men in the wall. Inevitably, Endo will strike it. Right-footed, low trajectory this time. That was more easily defended by Paraguay. The header runs to the halfway line, knocked by Camano, straight out of play on the stage side of the field between two colleagues, throw into Paraguay.
Oh, not the best delivery, a little bit flat. He went for a little bit too much pace, didn't get the height.
Another shot of Takeshi Okada. In fact, the other coach as well, Gerardo Martino. Quite a difference. He's vociferous. You can tell from his facial expression exactly what he's going through. Japanese coach, haven't a clue what he's thinking. Not a clue. His players will know. They've done really well at the World Cup. 2 victories in 3 games. And here it's 0-0. Paraguay and Japan. 2.5 minutes to go to half-time and 5 live. Free kick to Paraguay. Tap by Ortigoza to De Silva. Back to Ortigoza and on to Alcaraz. Alcaraz, left of the 2 central defenders. Moves over the halfway line now. Then he checks, plays into the fullback Morel, onto Benitez. Rather, it's not Benitez, it's Santa Cruz in the far side of the field. And he plays a 1-2 with Barrios, doesn't quite come off, and cleared out of play by Camano for a throw-in.
Well, you try and think how you can change the game, can't you? The late these 3 strikers spaced off across the lane, Paraguay. But they've got no end product, they've got no width. They tuck inside, nobody gets weighed. And, you know, when you've got people like Santa Cruz, get him in the middle. Look at the size of him. He's good with his head. Barrios is not little neither. They need crosses, but they play very narrow. The ball never comes in.
Don't forget, 7:30, we've got Spain against Portugal, and assuming a normal time finish, from 9:30 tonight at 5 Live, we'll be previewing the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Throw into Paraguay. Morel launches it into the Japanese penalty area, headed on by Santa Cruz. A second header on. Barrios swung his right foot at the ball, but it was already cleared, and then there was a foul on Matsui. Free kick to Japan. And Vera tried to prevent that free kick being taken quickly, and the referee knew quite clearly what was being done there. Japan had rushed players upfield. That was very naughty and, quote, professional from Vera. Free kick to Japan. Inside the 44th minute of the first half. It's a cloudy and very chilly afternoon in Pretoria. We're about 3/4 of an hour's drive north of Johannesburg. Kawashima, the goalkeeper for Japan, hits the free kick right-footed. Honda heads it on to the edge of the penalty area. Good clearance. Was the defender caught? I think he was, Alcaraz, and it's a free kick.
Well, I didn't really see that. It was a good flick on by Honda. But Morel it is, who's been caught.
Morel, sorry, it wasn't Alcaraz.
Caught, but he gets up straight away, he gets a free kick, and away he goes, jogging. Slight contact, nothing major.
It's been quite a clean game. Sometimes the players overreact when they're aggressively challenged. Now we're going to throw in, which Japan dispute without question. The first sign of emotion from Okada, the coach. He actually smiled there. It was almost a laugh at the decision to give a throw into Paraguay. Well, he's human. That's good. And now a foul by Barrios, so he can sit down and return to being inscrutable as his team gets a free kick.
Well, both coaches for me at half-time have got to go in and basically say, do you want to win this? Because both teams have not looked convincing. Japan's played very deep. There's a minute of added time, but you've got to get Japan. For me, you've got to take the game, put this back four under pressure, because they can't defend. They've seen that. And the other way, they need width Paraguay, and they've got to get better deliveries in the box for the two centre. Put Santa Cruz more central and get some quality into the box.
And they've got to take into account, both coaches, that there's a BBC Radio 5 live commentary team here anxious to watch Spain and Portugal tonight. We do not need extra time and penalties here. Anyway, Nagatomo goes forward. He's challenged. The ball breaks out of play. The linesman hasn't a clue which way it's going, so he just sticks his flag up in the air until the referee tells him which way to point it. And he points to the right, which means it's the throw into Paraguay. We nearly had our minute of added time. Not enough in the game to enthuse about, I'm afraid. Kamano, the right back for Japan, plays it upfield, but the whistle is blown, and it's half-time, and there's not a lot to say, is there?
Not a lot to say at all. We want both teams to up the tempo, move the ball a bit quicker, have a little bit of quality and deliveries into the box. Now I want Japan to put this back four, Paraguay under pressure more, play a little bit higher up the field. Paraguay need to get deliveries in the box with quality. They're too narrow, so coaches have got a little bit of work to do here. The game's there for either side, very even match. Interestingly,
as they did before the game, they're now having a little team talk, a team huddle, Paraguay in the centre circle before they go for the dressing room dressing down from their coach Martino. Half time here in Pretoria, Paraguay 0, Japan 0.
I think we've had the sporting short straw of the day here so far. Paraguay 0, Japan 0 in this penultimate game in the round of 16 at this World Cup. Winners here this afternoon will play the winners of Spain-Portugal, which is in Cape Town tonight. But the second half just underway. Paraguay red and white striped shirts and Japan all in blue. And the first 20 minutes of this game, I would say, is the poorest 20 minutes of football that I've seen so far at this World Cup. But it did get slightly better. Here's Paraguay with the ball at the back. They've got Villar in goal. At the back, Bonet, Da Silva, Alcaraz and Morel. In midfield, Ortigoza is the holding player. Vera and Riveros either side of him. And then Barrios, Benitez and Santa Cruz are their front three. And Japan, like Paraguay, neither of these countries has reached the quarter-finals of the World Cup before. That's what they're playing for. Kawashima is their goalkeeper. At the back, Kamano, Nakazawa, Tulio Tanaka and Nagatomo. In midfield, Matsui and Endo. Abe is the holding player. Hasebi's the captain. Okubo and Honda, who has been their player of the tournament so far. But a game of few chances. And Chris Waddle, who played for England at the World Cup, is watching it here with us in Pretoria. So what chance of it getting better, Chris?
I think you better book the tickets for the penalty shootout.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not. You know, you just hope the coaches have identified the problems and they try and correct them. You know, as I said, Japan played far too deep. They've got to put this team under pressure. And for Paraguay, every time the ball goes to the back four, they don't look comfortable when they get pressured. And Paraguay's think they've got to get wide, they've got to get deliveries at the box with a bit of quality.
So Japan with a throw-in after another poor Paraguay pass went straight out of play to give them possession. Ball bounces down and Morel clears it away. Villar's the captain as Nakazawa, one of the Japanese central defenders, is after it and was fouled, says referee Frank de Blickera. I was going to say, Chris, Villar's the captain of the Paraguayan side, but I was interested when they got together, the players, before they went into the dressing room at half-time. Did you notice it was Morel, the left back, who was actually doing all of the talking in that? And Morel, actually led the players off the field. And here he is now, one of the experienced men in the team, 32. He was raised in Argentina, but born in Paraguay, and with an Argentine coach in Martino and Barrios and Ortigoza, two of the players out there who were born in Argentina as well and switched allegiance, if you like. There is a strong Argentine influence on this Paraguayan side. But Japan can't keep possession. Paraguay have got it back as they play from right to left. The effect of the floodlights just beginning to show on the pitch here at the Loftus Versfeld Stadium. Paraguay, ball in from the right-hand side, is headed away on the edge of the box, and Japan have it back. Matsui plays it into the path. Now Honda gets a touch as well, being taken forward. This is nice from Japan. Abe carries it a long way and still in possession. Challenge comes in on him, and it's a good challenge as well. from Alcaraz, the central defender. Then Hasebe takes charge of the ball inside his own half and gives it to Honda. Both of them inside their own half at the moment. Then square. Oh, that was very careless from Endo. And Paraguay back in possession. Just took his eye off the ball and allowed it to run, and Paraguay have got it back. But for some reason, Paraguay playing at walking pace inside the Japanese half. It is very, very cagey in the opening stages of the second half, and it looks as though we're going to see the same pattern as the first. Here's the beefy Ortigoza. Plays it, gets it back. Ortigoza into the penalty area, just overran it. Challenges coming in, and crucially, the one that was important came in from Nagatomo, the left back, and dispossessed Ortigoza just when it looked as though he was about to shoot.
Well, so he's been their best player. We had a little bit of fun with him about the size, but he's been their best player by far. He gets on the ball, he's always looking to create. And Japan, he's played the same team every game, John, and I just wonder if they're going to run out of legs.
But that's certainly the best we've seen from Ortigoza, that little dart into the penalty area. I mean, he's a holding midfielder, and I'm quite surprised that he was actually capable of doing that. You don't sort of see that from those players. Ortigoza, who came in because Victor Caceres is suspended for this game. So Paraguay 0, Japan 0 on BBC 5 Live. The Wimbledon coverage continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. And we've got commentary on Spain-Portugal this evening, 7:30 UK time. That should be a higher standard than what we're witnessing here as it just begins to get dark in Pretoria. Honda on the right, the two Paraguayan players, Morel and Alcaraz, do the job on him, and it's cleared away downfield. And Tulio's going to leave it for goalkeeper Kawashima to pick up. The only real chances we've had in the game so far, first half, Barrios, good turn, but shot at the goalkeeper. Santa Cruz, when we saw the replays again at half-time, 10 yards out inside the penalty area from a corner. Good opportunity, hit it wide. And at the other end, the shot from Matsui that hit the top of the crossbar. And Honda had that chance as well, didn't he, late in the half. But not too many of them in the game. And already 6 minutes played in the second half, 0-0. And the standard is not a great deal better. Throw in for Kamano to Hasebe, who plays his football in Germany. He'll play for Steve McLaren next season at Wolfsburg. Now Honda again. Honda back to Abe. Flips the ball over the top, but Okubo heard straight into an offside position.
Well, as soon as the ball got laid back, wasn't it? As soon as he went to play it, the Paraguayan defence in the lane stepped up 3 yards. I thought that was very close indeed.
And he probably was just off. The replay on our TV screen here shows us. We had a little look around the media benches at half-time. David Pleat is here, actually, is about 30 yards to our left-hand side. I saw David, and he waved at me, and he gave us the thumbs down sign. So I don't think they're impressed by it either, our colleagues over there. Here come Paraguay with Riveros to the left-hand side. Morel has space to cross here. Here it comes into the near post, and it's cleared away by Hasebe.
Well, I was talking before about looking for good deliveries. Paraguay do get a lot of bodies in the box, but they're never going to score with clear quality like that. Very poor.
Paraguay 0, Japan 0 at the World Cup in Pretoria, in the leafy part of the city. Throw-in taken. Morel swings it over towards the back post, aiming for Santa Cruz, just over his head. It's gone right out to Bonnet on the right. Bonnet's crossed to the near post. Abe is there for Japan, and he's able to control it and play it away to the halfway line. Do you think I should have prepared the grid for penalty shootouts at half-time?
Yes, definitely. I'm surprised you hadn't.
I know. Paraguay with it again, being walked forward by Alcaraz, and then it's played to the right again, to De Silva. De Silva just puts his foot on the ball and then gives it back to Alcaraz again. And neither side, the stakes are so high that you can tell there the players out on the field are unwilling to take the risks, perhaps, that it's needed to make a breakthrough. Challenge comes in on Matsui, out of play for a throw-in. Hasebe to take. Hasebe, who's taken over the captaincy from the vastly experienced central defender Nakazawa, who's out there, and he leaves it actually for the right back Kamano to take. Just not too far away from where coach Okada is standing, and he now has the chance to wander forward, the coach in his black suit, and pick up the ball. He definitely does have an air of Ericsson about him, I feel, the Japanese coach. Ball is played out for another throw. Japan down the right. And Matsui does well, actually, on his left foot. Left-footed ball into the penalty area. Headed away by a stooping Vera. Comes out. Shot is deflected, but straight to the goalkeeper, Villar, who just clutches it with both gloves.
And I've got to say, I think Japan are technically the better side, in my eyes. They're a strong side, Paraguay, who close them down. But when they go forward, Japan, they do look threatening. And you just wish they would play higher up the field.
I would agree with you. I think they do seem to have a little more out there in terms of imagination and quality. But to be honest, I would imagine that Paraguay have had more of the ball in this game. That shot, by the way, was from Nagatomo, the left back, deflected towards the goalkeeper. Paraguay 0, Japan 0, 35 minutes to play. And Abe to Nakazawa, and then it's intercepted on the halfway line and is out for a throw. The coach, incidentally, Okada, says that this will be it for him as a coach. Second time he's taken Japan to a World Cup finals, and he has said that he will become a farmer after this World Cup. Here comes Vera. Angle ball through to the edge of the area. Benitez is there, shoots, but it's blocked immediately by Nakazawa, the central defender, who threw himself in front of the shot.
Good counter-attack, but Benitez has got to hit it a little bit earlier. He wants to tee it up onto his favourite left foot. Didn't do it quick enough. But again, them two centre-halves for Japan have been outstanding in this tournament.
Have you seen the figure for possession? Did you see that?
Japan had 38%.
Paraguay 62, so I was right then. Corner from the left-hand side for Paraguay. Absolutely dominating possession. But it's still 0-0, and it's a game that deserves to be 0-0. So, see, a change is going to be made by Paraguay. They're readying a substitute. But a corner to be taken by Morel from a very curious angle. He runs up, plays it into the near post. It's headed away for Japan and then cleared away effectively. And that looked like it might have been a foul Japan's way. Not given. Then it's booted forward from centre field and out of play for a goal kick to Japan. And it's Nelson Valdez who was left out for this game, the Borussia Dortmund striker, who will be coming on for Paraguay. So presumably either Santa Cruz or Barrios will make way.
Well, Santa Cruz has not gotten a game. He's gone more central to play in a 4-4-2 in a way, slightly. But they just lack quality. They lack quality, Paraguay. They work hard, they're a strong side, just lack quality in certain areas.
Paraguay 0, Japan 0. I was reminded at half-time, because it's the World Cup, because it's the last 16, you sort of expect these to be dramatic, exciting and high-quality games. And I was trying to remember Alistair Yeomans at half-time. I was saying to him, I remember he and I watching a game at this stage of the World Cup in Jeju Island in Korea in 2002, and he reminded me that Paraguay were involved in that one as well against Germany. Now I think
yellow card, Matsui
is shown the yellow card.
Yeah. Handball, and then he kicked the ball away.
Yeah. Just bounced up from handballed it, and then he belted it goalwards, and I'm sure Frank de Bleecker, the referee, knew that he'd already heard the whistle before he had a wallop at it goalwards. So, yellow card for Matsui. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. Just over half an hour of the 90 minutes to go. De Silva, high ball, ambitious, but Benitez, even though it was well directed from De Silva, wasn't able to control it. Bounced out of play for a throw-in to the Japanese. The final Asian team left in this World Cup. 4 from South America, 4 from Europe. Japan and Ghana are the teams that remain. That's a good ball. Benitez, left side of the penalty area, pulls it across, but Nakazawa was there with Barrios waiting, and Santa Cruz as well in the middle, but it was cleared out for a throw.
Well, Turgo's in midfield. Tell you what, he's the only one who sees a pass and he wants to do. He's always available, and he did see a pass. I
think he's got his range now with the new ball. Throw-in taken by Morel. Back to Morel. Morel's crossed the near post, headed goalwards by Riveros, but straight, really, at Kawashima, who was able to pat it down.
Well, it's the first good delivery, really, in the second half, and first half, really, as well. Good delivery. It just shows you they're a big side. They got a lot of bodies, red shirts in the box, but that's the first, for me, real good delivery they've put in.
0-0, Paraguay and Japan. The Wimbledon coverage is over on BBC 5 Live Sports Extra, but if you've just got into your car this afternoon, the news from there is that both Venus Williams and Kim Clijsters have been knocked out today. Japan on the move forward. It's driven across by Komano after he beat Morel, but then he sliced it And even though there were 3 Japanese players inside the penalty area, that was a complete waste.
Yeah, and then he's making the change as well. Yeah, he's coming with his left foot. He's trying to shot hard across the goal. Outside the left foot, always going away. He's got to throw in. And
it's the left-sided forward, Benitez, who's actually going to come off. So Nelson Valdez of Borussia Dortmund hasn't made a great impact in the 4 years that he has been there. Nelson Valdez is onto the field and replaces Benitez. So Paraguay 0, Japan 0, as it now does really begin to get dark here. Flags hanging in the on the roof of the stadium to our right, but so many blue empty seats around the ground. And I was struck on the advertising hoardings at half time, Chris, they were advertising tickets for the Uruguay-Ghana game at Soccer City, with that huge number of seats that they have there, 90,000 or more. And clearly they are aware that these games aren't being sold out.
If you look at these games, though, it's all hospitality, John, with empty blue seats. I mean, we don't know what the price of the packages are, but they've got boxes basically on the top and middle 2 tiers, and that's where all the seats are empty.
No, I mean, there are 3 tiers in that stand to our right that are virtually empty. There'll still be probably 30,000 plus inside the ground for this game. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. So Valdez is on for Paraguay. That's the first change that either coach has made. And Paraguay in possession inside their own half. Here's De Silva again, who just plays it, shuffles it in front of himself and plays it out to the right-hand side. And Bonnet, the right back, goes for the long ball that is flick-headed on behind Barrios. Might run for Valdez. Challenge came in on him. Referee says it was a good one. Then Nakazawa clears away from the edge of his area, and he was fouled by Valdez, who was a little late. Free kick to Japan on the edge of their own box.
Well, he's saying he didn't touch him. He put his foot there. The referee's having a word with him. He's not going to book him for that, is he? He's having a quick word with him. Obviously, he's telling him not to wave his arms and answer him back. It's a slight contact, but nothing. I mean, we've saw the benefit of replay. But the way the game's shaping up, you've got to say Paraguay, it's leaning towards Paraguay. They're more aggressive. They're more looking for that goal, where Japan are gradually just come off right off the pace.
So still goalless here. Now less than half an hour to go. And the feeling increases that we are heading to extra time and possibly beyond. Free kick then. Kawashima, the goalkeeper, takes it. Comes off a Paraguay head and is behind off Alcaraz for a corner. Corner to Japan, their first of the second half. And the Japanese supporters inside the ground with a little wave of their flags.
Endo normally does very good deliveries from his free kicks. He needs a good delivery again. The 2 centre-halves have been excellent. They've come up for this set piece again.
They're both there. Tulio Tanaka and Nakazawa. Endo with the number 7. He's staring at the ball. Now he stares into the middle. Endo's corner for Japan. Outswinger. It's headed by Tulio, but wide.
That'll be a corner.
I think the whistle might have gone, you know.
Well, free kick.
Yeah.
Terrific delivery. Pace. Middle of the goal. 6 yards out. 7-8 yards. I think it's a corner. Unless he's given a free kick, that's got to be a corner.
Just looking to see if the referee did blow his whistle. Tulio Tanaka heads it. Yeah, it did, you know. You're absolutely right. It came off Santa Cruz, but not spotted by the officials, and the Japanese players didn't make anything of it at all. So goal kick, still 0-0. Paraguay playing from right to left. Up it goes towards Valdez, who has been bright since he's come on, herring around the place. Challenge comes in on him from Comano, and the ball bounces out of play for a corner. Corner to Paraguay now.
Well, Valdez has come on. Looks like he's got a good turn of pace. It's definitely a corner.
At least there's a little bit of urgency there for someone from Paraguay. The fullback Comano got a bang on the head in that, but he's okay. Morel to take this then. Morel with the corner from this Johnny Wilkinson-like angle. Very acute run-up to the ball as he takes the corner now. Towards the edge of the 6-yard box, Barrios got his head to it. Referee spotted a push on the defender. Free kick Japan.
I didn't see anything wrong there. It's a great delivery, middle of the 6-yard box. Barrios should have done better. They're all pushing and niggling each other. Look, there's no a slight push. Maybe he's by Barrios, yeah. He's went down very, very easy. Hasebe.
Yeah, hands in the back of the Japanese captain Hasebe. We can see that on the replay. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. We'll just nip back to Wimbledon and Russell Fuller will give us an update.
Serena Williams has the break in the second set, John. The champion who leads Li Na of China by a set to love now leads by 3 games to 2. The Chinese player has to work out how to break this amazing Serena Williams serve. She has dropped only 7 points in 8 service games so far. The other quarter-final is 1 set to love in favour of Kaja Kanepi, the Estonian qualifier, and she's 5-all against Petra Kvitova of the Czech Republic in the second set.
Thanks, Russell. Coverage is over on 5 Live Sports Extra. Here on 5 Live at the World Cup, it's Paraguay 0, Japan 0. And I see Okada, the Japanese coach, is going to make his first change. And Okazaki, the striker who scored one of the goals against Denmark's coming on. Long ball into the Paraguayan penalty area. Matsui was chasing it, but it was just a little too far ahead of him and through for a goal kick.
Yes, and it's a good delivery. It's just a little bit too much on it. And he's taken off.
It's Matsui.
He's on a yellow, but I wouldn't took him off. He can change the game very, very quickly.
So is he going to drop Honda a little deeper, or is he going to play Wade. 2 up front?
He play Wade.
Yeah, okay. So Hasebi will come into that central area, the captain. So here he comes, Okazaki, who plays for Shimizu S Pulse in Japan, who are the current league leaders. The Japanese league's been suspended for a couple of months during the course of the World Cup because it runs during the course of the calendar year. So he's on, the number 9. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. 25 minutes to go, just under that of the 90 minutes. At the Loftus Versfeld Stadium here, not too far away from where all the embassies are. We sat outside the US Embassy, which looks just about as attractive as the US Embassy in London, while we waited for our parking pass. Throw-in to Paraguay. Up the line, headed away by Japan, and then out of play again for another throw-in, this time again for Paraguay. Bonnet, who was challenged. I'm just going to see if this was a free kick, because there was a high foot on Bonnet, and it might be a free kick that the referee has given, because I see the big men going forward. And yeah, Morel has gone across there as well for the delivery. So 3, 4, 5 Paraguay players positioning themselves in and around the edge of the Japanese box, and Riveros just outside the area. Morel, the set-piece taker, just moves it to the precise blade of grass that he wants to hit this from. Still goalless in this last 16 game at the World Cup here. Morel with a free kick from near halfway. A high one into the box. Goalkeeper comes, doesn't make it, collided with a defender, and was fortunate that the ball went straight through for a goal kick.
Well, I think he's hit Tanaka, Tulio Nakata, is it? But he doesn't need to come for it. It might be the substitute, actually. He doesn't need to come for it. There's no need to come for it. It's all, why does he come for the ball? There's nobody going to head it. There's nobody challenging. It's his Tulio, and there's no need to come for it. Nobody's going to get it. It's going over everybody's head. It's going to go for a goal kick.
No, he's landed awkwardly, Tulio. Important player for this Japanese team. I think he might have landed on his shoulder. The medical people are there, 2 of them surrounding him. And the goalkeeper, he's caught him with his knee, actually, right in the collarbone.
Well, as I say, goalkeeper hasn't shouted neither, so nobody can get out of the way. Bad decision by the goalkeeper.
Oh, that's nasty, actually. And well, we hope for his sake, for Tulio Tanaka's sake, that he's going to be able to get himself up. He's now moving forward, and he's feeling his left shoulder area, and the stretcher has been taken away, and it looks as though he is going to be able to carry on. So he's taken the blow. He'll be able to carry on, at least temporarily. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. BBC 5 Live here in Pretoria, and we're beyond halfway through the second half. And here's Alan Green.
Well, it doesn't look too clever, an injury for Tanaka, that. His left arm's hanging limply by his side at the moment. Sort of half collision with the chin, half collision with the shoulder. Anyway, it's still 0-0 Paraguay and Japan, and all we're saying is give us a go. Goal kick taken by the errant Japanese goalkeeper, Kawashima. No need to come for that ball the way he did at all. It's taken up by Valdez. Valdez has been fouled, and it's a free kick to Paraguay. So it's the fullback, Morel, to take it, seemingly the leader upfield, so to speak, despite Villa being captain. Morel, 6 paces short of the halfway line, hard for the left touchline. Just chips it forward towards Valdez. Valdez, he miscontrolled that, and he tried to dummy the referee down to giving him a throw in. He didn't get it right. Japan got the throw in, and here's Honda again. Honda, that was an aggressive challenge on him. He lost the ball to Ortigoza, and now Santa Cruz taking it up, but Santa Cruz running towards the left side, and he's done really well here, Santa Cruz. Certainly kept three defenders busy. Santa Cruz taps the ball between the legs of one of them. Back to Morel, and now it's with Riveros. Riveros down the left-hand side, but it's out of play. Poor pass. Doesn't look 10 million worth. I know they're getting him for a free, Sunderland, but as I said, Steve Bruce was initially quoted 10 million last summer.
You just wish, the coach would change the system. I know it's a tight game and you don't want to lose it, and if you go to penalties it's a lottery and you may get through, but why don't it sometimes just say, look, we're going to go 4-4-2 or we're going to go 3, just change something which can make a goal happen. For Paraguay, obviously dominating possession with it, creating little chances. Japan sitting very deep on the break, looked dangerous at times, but you just want one of these coaches to try and change it, which may get them the result they're looking for.
Sadly, it's been a really poor game of football. We only got 20 minutes to go here of the 90 minutes, and if it's still 0-0, then 5 Live will bring you extra time and, if necessary, penalties. Here's Honda, 35 yards out, glorious pass into the penalty area, and the substitute Okazaki crossed the ball, blocked by the defender behind for a corner.
Well, that's Honda, very good again, great vision. What a reverse pass. Saki really took too long. He went hard and low. He could have picked somebody out of the far post.
The corner's going to be taken by Endo. He takes all the dead balls from the right, and let me count. There are 5 Japanese players inside the Paraguayan penalty area. Endo, good delivery towards Honda. Excellent defending by De Silva, and it's cleared upfield to Valdez. Valdez is all on his own on the far side of the field. Definitely pulled back there by Nakatomo, and it's a free kick.
Nakatomo was
going to be booked.
Nakatomo was more worried about Valdez and thinking about the ball. He had the ball twice in his sights.
Well, he's going to miss the next game, if there is a next game for Japan. That's his second yellow card of the tournament, and the amnesty doesn't come up until after the quarter-finals. Let's get the latest news from Wimbledon. Russell Fuller.
I don't think it'll be another game for Lee Na at this Wimbledon, Alan, because Serena Williams has broken again. 4 games in a row, the defending champion leading by a set to love and 5 games to 2, and they're into a second set tiebreak on number 1 court with Kaia Kanepi 1 set up against Kvitova. It's 4-2 to the Estonian qualifier in the tiebreak. She's closing in on a place in the Wimbledon semi-finals.
Thank you very much indeed, Russell. Here it's Paraguay 0, Japan 0 in Pretoria. Ball played to the right side to Kamano, and on it goes to Honda. Honda approaching the penalty area. Well challenged. Was that our rotund gentleman in midfield?
It was.
Ortigoza, very good player. Ball's on the halfway line, and it's with Japan. Played back to Nakazawa. I can't help but feel that tonight's game between Spain and Portugal, either of those teams will comfortably beat Paraguay or Japan.
Yeah, definitely.
Comfortably. That would be the quarter-final pairing. Oh, a mistake there on the far side by Bonnet, and he was very lucky because as he shaped the head, the ball and missed it completely. That fooled the Japanese player, and as a result, ball goes out of play. Throw into Japan. Nagatomo to take it. He can run his guts out now because he's no quarter-final to prepare for. He crosses the ball into the penalty area after the throw-in, went back to him, it bounced once and straight through to Villar, the captain of Paraguay.
If Osaki gambles at the near post, it's a simple tap-in. They're just static in the box when the ball came in.
Ortigoza plays it towards the left side. Well done, Valdez. Awkward pass for him to take, kept it in play just over the halfway line. Then he loses it, but he's been fouled according to the Belgian referee, and it's a free kick to Paraguay.
I think he's been on 10-12 minutes, and he must have had 5 free kicks already against him.
Yeah, we're going to get another change for Paraguay shortly. Barreto, a midfield player, will be coming on, being told by his coach Gerardo Martino exactly what he expects from him. Free kick in the meantime to Paraguay. Played left-footed into the penalty and allowed to punch twice, still inside the box, and finally it's cleared out of play by Nagatomo.
I think that's the first time them two centre-halves for Japan have never got a head on it and cleared it. Let it bounce, could have proved dangerous. They've hacked it away for a throw-in on the far side.
Paraguay have dominated possession, but Japan at times have been the better side. Anyway, ball's punched clear by the Japanese goalkeeper. He's behind for a corner. And I don't think they're going to make the change before this corner. No.
Well, it's funny, the goalkeeper's looking for a free kick. He's dropped, he didn't know where to catch it. Oh, punch it. Looking for a free kick. As soon as he ward the corner, he jumps up.
Unconvincing. Corner to Paraguay from the right. And we really should do everything we can here to spare us from extra time. Easily the first game in the last 16. Played in right-footed, deep, headed down, but it's out of the penalty area now. Barrios chases after it. Barrios then tries a trick, doesn't come off, and it's a goal kick. And here's the latest Paraguayan change. Now that's Ortigoza, who's probably been their best player, being taken off.
Well, I'm surprised at that. He's played very, very well. He's used the ball excellent, but I said, would he last the pace? And maybe he signalled to the bench and thought, I'm struggling.
No, I think he's played really well, despite being overweight. And Barreto's just taken his position in the centre of midfield. It's not as if he's been hustled by the Japanese. You know, he hasn't had to hurry himself. A quarter of an hour to go here in 5 Live. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. And Japan haven't looked remotely threatening for a long while.
Well, they just, and it's that counter-attack, isn't it? If it falls to the right player, they do put some nice passes together. But they've just, I think they've set the stalls out and thought, look, if we get a clean sheet, we might nick a goal on the break and that'll take us through. And that's their game plan, no doubt about that.
Alcaraz to Da Silva, the Sunderland player. Still 20 yards short of the halfway line. And on to Bonnet on the far side, the right fullback. Bonnet chips it in. And good control by Barrios. Getting it back to Alcaraz. But it's not making much forward momentum. And then there's a mistake by Barrios. And it's taken up by Okubo as Barrios slips. He's now midway inside the Paraguayan half. Keeps the ball himself. Plays it to the left side. There was a late challenge. Bad challenge on him. But the referee allows play to continue. Japan still have the ball. It's with Abe. And the defender belts the ball off Abe behind for a goal kick, rather.
Well, the referee was in two mains running. When he bring the play back, originally it was a late challenge.
I think Endo would have quite liked to have had a free kick in that position for a foul by Vera. Anyway, didn't get it. And it's still Paraguay 0, Japan 0. Less than 14 minutes to go here in Pretoria. And it's quite a chilly evening now, isn't it? It hasn't been a warm day at all in this area. Grey cloud overhead. And darkness, of course, taking over as the pass back to the goalkeeper was short. Honda rushed after it, trying to get there. Cleared upfield, and then there's a flag up for offside. But play still continues. De Vlieger didn't respond to the linesman's flag, and Paraguay a little fortunate that they can clear the ball. Near side of the field with Morel. In now to Riveros. Riveros on to Barreto, the latest Paraguay substitute. On to the previous one, Valdez crosses from the left, right-footed, poor cross, overhit, behind it goes for a goal kick.
Well, really, Santa Cruz should be coming in that far post, isn't he? But he's not very mobile today, Santa Cruz. He's had nice touches, but it's a difficult position for him to play on that right as the game's gone on. He's got tired, become very static, but you just wish Japan would put two up front, two down the middle, because this back four for Paraguay are poor, very poor.
Spain or Portugal will be licking their lips in anticipation, but they've got to get past each other, so to speak, tonight. That game in Cape Town kicks off at 7:30, and of course you hear full commentary on 5 Live, and it'll be followed, assuming a normal time finish, around about 9:30 by a look ahead to the quarter-finals. Here's Barreto shoots from long range, bounces in front of the goalkeeper. He doesn't mess up, and he throws it out quickly to the far side of the field, where unfortunately for Okubo it hits him on the back heel, and Paraguay have it again, attacking the Japanese penalty area, and then the move breaks down, and it's with Abe, and Abe plays a good ball forward to Honda. Honda always looks sort of lethargic, but I think he's just in control of the ball, and he usually finds a Japanese player with a pass, and it's played into the penalty area, the Paraguayan penalty area. Endo can't pick it up, and it's cleared out of play for a throw-in.
Well, De Silva there spotting the danger, didn't he? Got across well, and I don't know if the coach should be saying, come on, Japan, let's go and have a go now. Let's see if we can win this game. It's there for them.
A Japanese substitute now. Second change by Mr. Okada.
14.
Right. Well, 14's coming on, right. Nakamura. So, it's not the Nakamura that we know. This is Yasuyuki. Oh, sorry. It's Kengo Nakamura. Nakamura will be coming on shortly. Being instructed by his coach precisely the position he wants him to take up. A shade over 10 minutes to go. Paraguay 0, Japan 0 in a very poor, disappointing game. Here's Valdez, though. Valdez very busy, but overhits the pass towards the far side of the field, well beyond Santa Cruz is out for a throw-in. Want to hazard a guess as to who Nakamura will come on for?
One of the midfield boys.
Okazaki, trying to get on the end of a long pass upfield by Japan. Well defended, though, by Morel. And Morel, Japanese player's gone down injured. I don't think there's anything in that at all. But it's out of play, and while it's out of play, and while the Japanese player receives attention, let's get the latest news from Wimbledon. Russell Fuller.
Well, some sort of normal service being resumed here, Alan, in that Serena Williams, the champion, is into the semi-final. She has beaten Li Na of China in straight sets, 7-5, 6-3, but she doesn't yet know who she'll play. It either will be Petra Kvitova of the Czech Republic or the Estonian qualifier Kaia Kanepi. They are going into a third set. Kvitova has just won the second set tiebreak.
Thanks very much, Russell. Come on, either Paraguay or Japan, give us a go. Well, I've just written Nakamura's name coincidentally along that little slot, which happened to be against Abe, and unfortunate because Abe's the one who's coming off.
Well, he's done his job. He protects the back four. He's done a good job again. But if the coaches, I keep saying it, you've got to be positive here because this game's up for grabs. You can win this game very, very easily. 9 minutes to go. Can either Paraguay or Japan score and save us from extra time? Of course, at this stage, both of them are terrified about losing to a late goal. So they'll get even more jittery, more defensive, and try to get the extra 30 minutes. Harsh handball decision given against Barreto by De Vlieker, the Belgian referee, and it's a free kick to Japan. I mean, the ball just hit his hand. He didn't play hand to ball. Tanaka, the defender, to take it for Japan. And it's stabbed forward towards Honda. Great control by Honda. Back it goes to Endo. Endo to Tanaka. And that's an excellent pass forward to the substitute Nakamura. Play to the left-hand side. 3 Japanese players waiting for the cross. Good punch cleared by the goalkeeper Villa. And I think he may have been fouled by Honda. It's not Honda, actually. It's Okubo. It was a foul, a barge. And Okubo, worried about a yellow card, I think, is sort of laying on his back now as if he's hurt as well. That was terrific play, though, wasn't it, by Japan? Great cross in. And I didn't think it... Well, my initial look was he just challenged for the ball. No, he did actually. He's never touched the goalkeeper. There's no way that's a free kick.
He may have accidentally caught his knee, the Japanese knee in his back. But actually, why was the goalkeeper so much lower in the air than Okubo? I mean, the goalkeeper's got his arms to help. Okubo jumped higher by at least 1.5 feet. Anyway, both of them are receiving treatment. You see a goal?
Well, no, I don't.
No, neither do I.
You need a big mistake or somebody's going to produce a little bit of magic, and it's not happening so far.
It's our fault. It's our fault. It's not John Murray's. Just shows you what a lucky sod he's been, the sort of football he's seen in this World Cup. He didn't get to see. He didn't have the privilege to see Brazil and Portugal.
By the way,
stinker.
This is running close to that.
England, Algeria. Worse still. Thank heavens for Brazil and Chile last night. It's about the first decent game I've seen. But the riches are yet to come. Port Elizabeth on Friday. Holland against Brazil. Saturday in Cape Town. Argentina against Germany. I think they're two throbbing World Cup quarterfinals to come. Play resumes here. And Paraguay on the attack. But the pass is overhit beyond Rocky Santa Cruz. He's behind for a goal kick. And how many minutes to go? 6 and a bit.
you're just looking for somebody to produce a little bit of magic, whether it's Honda or Santa Cruz. Somebody, please, just get on the ball and be a little bit direct and go yourself.
So we got a goal kick to be taken by Kawashima, the Japanese custodian. Right-footed, all in grey. Played towards the far side, miscontrolled by Barreto. And now it's with Honda. Honda to the far side and Okubo. Okubo running at two defenders. Still has the ball in play. Has he? No, the linesman's flagged, and it must have gone out for a throw-in. Yeah, it's getting worse.
Yeah, it is. Well, nerves are creeping in now. The nose is not long left. Big clock on the big screens behind the goal.
A little over 5 if they need to know. Thrown to Paraguay, level over the edge of their own penalty area. Thrown towards Santa Cruz. Controlled on his left thigh. Now with his right foot. And he finds a colleague with a pass, and he looks for the ball being played back to him, and across comes Nakazawa to belt it out of play into the crowd at the far side of the field. Thrown to Paraguay on the halfway line. Launched towards Barrios. Barrios, then there's a linesman's flag, so Barrios must have done something wrong. He has, and it's a free kick to Japan. What a tepid affair this is. He just hacked at the defender, having lost possession. Kawashima wants more to take a free kick. And I think we're going to get another change for Japan shortly. Will they do that before extra time? You think the coaches will be thinking about penalties? Well, presumably they've got penalty takers in their minds. They want to keep them on the pitch.
I would probably think they were thinking that before the game kicked off.
Honda heads the ball on into Paraguay's penalty area. As it's headed clear, Honda heads it back, and it's still in there. Okubo, dramatic acrobatic clearance by the defender, Bonnet, and it's out for a throw-in to the Japan. 10 yards from the corner flag in the Paraguay half. Left side for Japan. Throw-in goes to Honda, who wasn't ready for that at all, and it's out of play off the defender again, so at least they get a second chance, Japan. And the ball goes backwards, and then it's played towards the right side. Can Kamano get a decent cross end, left-footed low, cleared on the volley by the defender Da Silva. Back into Japanese possession. Kamano again, lower pass in field this time, equally poor as the first one, and it's flicked out of play for a throw-in. Desperate football this. You wouldn't believe this is the last 16 of a World Cup, but that's a glorious ball by Honda, and then terrific defensive work by Da Silva, eliminates the danger, putting it out of play.
If Saki was on watching the way he was trying to play it, he was in there, he fell asleep.
Here's Honda again. Honda to Kamano. There are two balls on the pitch. That's silly. I mean, that's a kid in the near side who throws the ball on. Son, just sit down and don't interfere with play. And trying to help, and of course there's a bounce ball.
That rule there is ridiculous, right? Because why doesn't the linesman say take the throw-in again from here? So he gives the ball back to Paraguay, who
kick it further away from the danger area. Not fair. Anyway, Japan have got the ball back, and it's with Nakamura, and now on to Honda. Honda to Kamano. Kamano checks onto his left foot. There's the cross into the penalty area. Good defensive header again by Da Silva. On the far side, it's Nagatomo. Japan are going for it here. Endo. We've only got 2.5 minutes to go plus added time. On the far side again, Nakatomo. Back to Endo. Keeping the ball in play. He can deliver a good dead ball. And he flicks it forward towards his captain in the penalty area. And then, well, according to the referee, has to be barged into Da Silva, and he gives a free kick to Paraguay. I think that was harsh.
Oh, terrific skill by the Japanese team there for the last few minutes. What dribbles? He's just ran into him. It's not.
So we did nothing wrong there at all.
Nothing at all.
John was mentioning we see this referee a lot in Europe in the Champions League, and we don't think very much of him actually, if truth be told. 2 minutes to go. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. I'll be screaming for a goal soon. I don't think we're going to get it. I think we're going to have 30 minutes of extra time. Da Silva belts the ball upfield towards Valdez. It was well defended, headed out of play, but Valdez applauds Da Silva's intention. At least it puts Japan on the back foot. Paraguay's throw-in, and then Kamano gets a boot to the ball again. It's out. Another throw to Paraguay, very close to the corner flag. very close to the end of the 90 minutes. About 90 seconds remaining before we go into added time. Still it's 0-0 here in Pretoria. Morel backs away from the touchline, springs forward now about 5 yards, launches the ball into the penalty. Good header back towards the 6-yard box, headed away by Nakazawa. But still Paraguay have it again. Cross from the left, miscontrolled by Santa Cruz. Another opportunity to cross. This one's far too deep, and that should be run away to safety by Okubo on the far side of the field. In fact, he just lets it go out for a throw-in.
Extra time, no doubt. Just waiting for the ball to go up.
I suppose it had to happen at some stage. What do we add on about 10 minutes of added time? Well, I don't think it'll change things.
I've never had an extra time game, so I'm blaming John Murray for this.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a scud, as we say in Ulster. He's an absolute scud. A bad omen to those, most of you listening on 5 Live. But he's shaking his head. I'm afraid it's down to him. We've never had anything like this at all before in the World Cup, have we, Chris?
Not one game.
Well, it'll count against him. It's a black mark.
Oh, you might be
0-0, but here come Paraguay on the attack. Santa Cruz gets it back to Barreto, and now it's away on the far side with Bonnet. Forward to Santa Cruz again. Barreto, Bonnet's first time cross. Hits a defender, which is as well for Japan. Partially cleared. 3 minutes of added time. Japan run the ball away towards this near side of the field. Nakamura is tackled, it's out, and it's going to be a throw-in, is it, to Japan.
Well, it wasn't a throw-in. He put his hand up early. The linesman sat on the fence, and the referee pointed that way for Japan. They're not happy with the Paraguayan bench.
Kamana with a throw-in. There will be no risks taken here. Not inside added time at the end of 90 minutes, when a place in the last 8 of the World Cup is at stake. A place that neither of these two countries has ever occupied before. Honda. Even though he hasn't had much to do, Honda still looks a class act.
Free kick.
And he's been fouled here.
Said he got pushed in the back.
By Morel.
Yeah. No, need one good delivery. Both centre-halves on the way up.
Well, Asebi's there, but he's bound to leave this free kick to Endo. He takes all the free kicks, all the corners. Both centre-halves going upfield for Japan. Nakazawa and Tanaka. Endo needs one good delivery and a header to dispatch the ball into the Paraguayan net. In the second minute of added time here in Pretoria. Endo's cross into the penalty area, and it's headed on. Still might be an opportunity. Oh, the Japanese player slipped, and the ball is with the goalkeeper. Tanaka slipped, and the goalkeeper hits it straight out of play for a throw-in.
It was another good delivery, wasn't it? He had to, was always behind him, and he just thought Nakata was just going to get that volley, just couldn't reach it.
Throw into Japan, and 1 minute and 20 seconds remain before we have the extra 30 minutes. The throw goes to the right foot of the midfield player, and it's flicked on harmlessly enough right through into the Paraguayan penalty area to the goalkeeper. What's he given, a free kick?
Kick on Honda's challenge.
Ah, right. Well, that was late, well spotted by De Bleeker. Free kick, 30 yards short of the halfway line. Villa, the captain of Paraguay, strikes it, right-footed, deep in towards Santa Cruz. A ball almost found kindly for Santa Cruz, but it's cleared by Japan. Bonnet in the far side of the field. 45 seconds to go. Barreto taking on 2 defenders. Can't beat the second of them. And I think it's the fullback Nakatomo who plays it in field, and a colleague hits it to the halfway line. Honda with a chest control, but the referee has spotted something wrong. I think he thinks it's a handball by Honda, and he's going to be booked.
No way.
Oh, no, I just don't see that, Frank, my mate. Honda, yellow card.
No way. That wasn't... No way, man. He's trying to bring it down.
No.
That's terrible refereeing.
Yeah, that really was a poor yellow card. Anyway, we've had our 3 minutes of added time. This will be the last attacking momentum in normal time here. Free kick to Paraguay. Last opportunity to prevent the extra 30 minutes. There it goes. Driven into the Japanese penalty area. The header down, but I think Japan should be able to clear it. The referee blows his whistle, and we do have extra time, and it's all John Murray's fault.
Well, really, could you not just go straight to the penalties? Because I just can't say their team scoring. They've just cancelled each other out. Lack of ambition. Japan with a 4-5-1. just playing counter-attack. Paraguay, basically, when they get within the final third, haven't got any quality to deliver. So I can see this actually going to the first penalty shootout of this tournament.
Extra time coming up at full time. Paraguay 0, Japan 0.
Just been watching the two sets of players and the coaches and all of the staff preparing their team for extra time. The Paraguayans just sort of milling around, lots of waving of towels going on in a boxing style, and the Japanese have had not one but two huddles, one with the coach in the middle. There seemed to be a little prayer as well from them all, and then the players who will start the second period, the extra time, all gathered together for another huddle. So Paraguay 0, Japan 0. And as for whose fault this is on the commentary team, Alan Green has just told me that he's heading for his 4th 0-0 draw at this World Cup. No further questions, Your Honour. The extra time begins then with Japan all in blue against Paraguay in the red and white stripes. It is dark now here in Pretoria, and Paraguay back in possession with Barreto, one of their substitutes, winning his 50th cap actually, plays it to the edge of the area, and it's headed away for Japan. Honda, beautiful touch, takes 3 Paraguay players out of the game, and now Okubo to the right hand side it goes, needs a good ball in, comes in, takes a deflection off the defender over the top of the Paraguayan bar, came off Alcaraz for a corner.
Terrific ball in by Nakamura, wasn't it? Really hard and low across the goal, that could have went anywhere.
Corner to Japan, 0-0. So it almost goes without saying that in this situation the first goal is absolutely crucial. I saw extra time between Ghana and the USA. Gian scored early for Ghana in that game, and it proved to be decisive for the African side. The Asian team, Japan with this corner in towards the near post, and the near post header fizzes over the top of the bar, and I think it came off Akazaki. It did. Akazaki, the substitute, got his head to it at the near post, stretching for it, but only helped it wide of the far post.
Fraction too wide. Another good delivery though, wasn't it? A lot of pace on it. Goalkeeper, no man's land.
So 0-0. No further substitutions at half-time. So each, in fact, there might be a Paraguayan change being readied now. There is. So each coach has one more to make. Martino of Paraguay, their Argentine coach, is going to make his final change. Japan with it. He has Okubo now, and then Okubo takes it on, was blocked there, free kick to Japan in the central third of the field. And I think it's going to be Oscar Cardozo who is going to come on. It is Oscar Cardozo of Benfica, played against Liverpool in the Europa League this season. Free kick to Japan then, Endo to take it. Paraguay not ready to make that change just yet. So Endo near the halfway line for Japan in extra time here in Pretoria. Endo, high delivery beyond everyone in terms of the outfield players, and caught by Villar, the goalkeeper, who launches it away downfield immediately. And Valdez jumping for it, gets the better of the defender. Valdez, if he can pull it across, and he hit a Japanese player inside the middle, took a flick off Endo, and out of play for a throw-in on this side.
Well, he's got to pick somebody out there. Santa Cruz ran in, checked ran in, checked back out. He needed the pull back. He's just hit it hard and low across the goal, and nobody's gone in.
Really, it had to be better from Valdez, who did very well actually initially. But a throw-in to Paraguay on the right. Still goalless on 5 wide. Wimbledon continues on Sports Extra. So the throw to be taken by Bonnet, the right back, to the near post. Tempted flick on by Santa Cruz, but it bounces down and Japan can clear it. And then Okubo follows up just in front of the Japanese bench and puts it out for a throw. And it's Santa Cruz who is coming off, and to be honest, I think he has tired in the game.
Oh, he has. Hasn't played a lot of football this season. I've seen Cardozo play for Benfica, and he did score goals, this lad.
Yeah, top scorer in the Portuguese league this season. 38 goals in all competitions, as Benfica won the title very well, played some excellent football. So Oscar Cardozo is on. Paraguay 0, Japan 0, with 4 minutes of extra time played here for a place in the quarter-finals of this South African World Cup. And here is Cardozo now, just outside the area, sends it out to the left-hand side. Valdez is herring after it, plays it back. Morel controls it, the left back. Ball into the centre. Barrios header straight at the goalkeeper from 10 yards.
Well, I give Paraguay credit on there. When they do get the ball away, they do get red shirts in the boxes. 4 in the box this time. And that was a decent delivery. It was just slightly behind him. He couldn't get any power on it. Comfortable save.
Still 0-0. And Japan play it forward from the back. From Kamano, but that's way, way ahead of anyone in a blue shirt. So Paraguay have possession back. Spain, Portugal tonight. We should just about get back to our base in Johannesburg in time for kick-off, as long as the traffic's not too bad back along the dual carriageway. Free kick to Paraguay for a foul in the central third of the field on Riveros. He himself just taps it to his right. And Bonnet now for Paraguay over the halfway line. Touch from him to Barreto, Edgar Barreto, whose elder brother is one of the Paraguay goalkeepers in this World Cup squad. Barrios has dropped back towards the halfway line. He's stationed himself out where Santa Cruz was on the right-hand side. Ball bounces for Tulio Tanaka to overhead kick it away downfield. That seemed to go down well with some of the crowd. Whoops and cheers for that. Didn't see an official attendance inside Loftus Versfeld. That looked like a foul. It was a foul by Nakamura. Kengo Nakamura. Free kick to Paraguay in the centre circle. I make it in the game that we've seen so far. There have been 6 chances to score. 4 for Paraguay, 2 for Japan. That's why it's 0-0. Forward from De Silva. Touch from Barrios. Then forward to the edge of the area. Cardozo was off balance, flicked the leg at it, and it went through to the goalkeeper.
I just can't believe these teams have got through what you see today.
Yeah, but I don't think what we've seen today represents how they played in the group.
Yeah, but, no disrespect on, but Paraguay will look at this and think, right, Japan a lot better than we've just beaten the group, and Japan could say, are these better than Denmark? I wouldn't think they are.
Not only that, what will Italy, their supporters, I mean, Paraguay won Italy's group, and their supporters must be sitting at home in Italy and thinking, how on earth did we not get through to this game? Could have been Italy-Denmark, could have been Italy-Cameroon, but it's Paraguay 0, Japan 0. Neither of these teams has played in the quarter-finals of the World Cup before. Ball in towards the edge of the area. That's a clever turn by Valdez. Goalkeeper makes the save, and Japan have shoveled it away. Only out to Barreto. He hits the shot. It's blocked by a defender. Much better, much more urgency. Bonnet now on the right for Paraguay. Into the middle it goes. 3 men there. Barrios with a shot. Hit it straight into a defender again. Header back into the area once more. And it drifts wide from Valdez and through for a goal kick.
Oh, it's a little bit better, wasn't it? That was another good opportunity. Should he have scored? I think he should have. It's come in. It's a slide. He cannot lift it. To be fair, the goalkeeper was there nice and early, diving at his feet. He was always stretching Valdez when he just couldn't get his foot under the ball to lift it over the advancing keeper.
Well, that was better. 0-0. Halfway through the first period of extra time on 5 Live, as the goal kick reaches Honda, beaten in the air by Barreto, out of play off the Paraguayan's head for a throw into Japan. Honda, ball bounced up for him. Okubu is after it. Oh, referee says free kick. So they're challenged by Bonnet.
So Endo will be taking this, and it's a good area again. The sad thing for Japan is, in a way, is that they haven't had a free kick in the last 20 metres of the near the edge of the box where you can actually have a shot. It's all been basically, he's got to cross every free kick he's had, Endo.
Did that deserve a free kick?
I think the referee wants a goal as well.
Like the rest of us. Free kick then. Paraguayan coach Martino's concerned. He's come right to the left edge of his coaching area, trying to sort out the wall.
Tell you what, Honda fancies this. He does strike the ball very, very well with that left foot. It's a very difficult angle for a left footer, though. Yeah,
it's some distance out on the left-hand side, though. Quite an angle. Given that angle, it must be 35 yards from goal.
I don't think that wall's 10 yards, by the way.
Honda runs up, hits it, and the goalkeeper dives to his left and pushes it away. And as Jimmy Armfield would say, we were right behind that, and we could see it wobbling as it went goalwards. And there were players in there as well, but the goalkeeper just decided to push it away.
I don't know why Nakamura doesn't touch it. He runs across the ball, he's just got to touch it, he's got an open goal.
Corner as a result. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. Corner for Japan. Tulio Tanaka is up there. Nakazawa as well, the two central defenders. Referee, the usual thing. The gesture with the hands flat from the referee. Cut it out is the message. Corner then for Japan. Goes into the near post. Barrios heads it away and was a little fortunate to just flick it out of the penalty area altogether. Ooh. Tulio thumps it high and it lands in the hands of the goalkeeper.
Big quick kick by the keeper again.
Barrios chases it down the left-hand side. There's some height now with Barrios and Cardozo up front for Paraguay. That's a nice turn by Barrios. Barrios then goes towards the byline, pulls it across. Cardozo is waiting to shoot, just flick-headed away by Hasebe. Important, and Japan clear it out for a throw.
Oh, terrific play by Barrios down that left-hand side.
Throw in. Vuvuzella's increasing noise. Japanese flags waving, but their team having to defend. And Valdez wins a throw for his team, 10 yards away from the corner flag. 5 minutes of the first period of extra time to play. Throw into Paraguay. Morel right up against the hoardings. Here he comes. Hurls it in towards the near post. Valdez plays it back to him. Morel dinks it in towards the back post. Bounces down inside the box. Oh, and Tulio's flicked it over the... Well, I think Barreto has got a touch on that. Tulio is in there as well. And the final touch was off the Paraguayan over the top of the bar.
Well, again, another good delivery. They cause problems in there, don't they? Paraguay got little red shirts in there, a tall team. He just couldn't get it down, Barreto, could he? He's just had a snapshot. It's gone high.
Come off his head.
Landed on the top of the net.
Tulio went to flick it away. Barreto put his head in there and just sort of bobbed the header over the top of the bar. In actual fact, Tulio trying to clear it probably put him off. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. Penalties may well follow in about 20 minutes time from now to decide who goes through to play at Ellis Park on Saturday night against Spain or Portugal. Now the high ball through the middle. The height is there, so they're going for the high balls, and Cardozo into Nakazawa. Free kick, Japan.
He's never even got his eyes on the ball. He's just looking at the centre half. Run straight into him. Silly free kick.
I noticed one of our commentary colleagues has just lit up a cigarette about 10 yards to our left, even though it's made absolutely clear that you're not supposed to smoke inside the stadiums. Kawashima takes this free kick downfield, comes back. Hasebe heads it forward. Kengo Nakamura is beaten in the air. Forward it goes for Paraguay, who, if anything, have been the better team in extra time, but there's not a great deal in it. Back it comes to Endo in the centre circle for Japan. Honda, who's been just about as good as anyone out there on the field. Honda for Japan. Back to Endo, then Honda too, but the challenge comes in. Bonnet knocks it out of play. Throw into Japan. 2.5 minutes of the first period of extra time to go. Still goalless here in Pretoria. Left back Nagatomo takes the throw to Honda. Challenge was heavy on him. Yeah. Free kick, Japan, wide out on the left.
Yeah, it's a good delivery for a cross again, but not shooting distance, is it? Silly challenge, Barreto. What is he thinking?
So Endo is there. Yasuhito Endo of Gamba Osaka, the current Asian Player of the Year, with this free kick a yard in from the left touchline. He'll swing it in right-footed. All the players inside the box. Endo's delivery close to the goalkeeper, who juggles it and catches it at the second attempt.
Second attempt, he catches it. Good pace on the cross again. A little bit too high for the players attacking it.
And the goalkeeper still has it. Just rolls it out along the ground to Paulo de Silva. And now Alcaraz. And then a little touch into centre field to Riveros. No one wants to make the crucial mistake now at this stage of this game. Steered to Bonnet. Then the angle ball forward is chested away, but a handball by Barrios. Yep. And a free kick to Japan.
Well, it's strange, isn't it? He gives Honda a yellow card, and he's done. What's that? What is that? It's two hands, not even one.
He took his eyes off the ball, put his arms up, handballed it blatantly, and there's a lack of consistency with that particular decision. Honda having earlier been booked for a very similar offence. 0-0. Free kick downfield off Honda's head, and this time it's not so good from Honda, and it's through for a goal kick. So Paraguay 0, Japan 0. Paraguay, the winners of Italy's group. First time they've ever won a group at the World Cup. And Japan winning through well with that victory against Denmark when they outplayed the Danes. Otherwise, if Jan Molby had still been here, today would have been Denmark Day on 5 Live, as he announced it was for all of their 3 group games. Cardozo heads it forward, nodded away for Japan on the edge of the box, bounces down for the distinctive Tullio, up towards Honda, who tried to flick it past De Silva but didn't work, and it was blocked out of play off the Paraguayan for a throw. It's fielded by Okada, the very serious-faced Okada, the coach. Might be his last action before he goes off to the fields of Japan and takes up his career as a farmer. Honda flicks it down the line, and then Okubo is picked up for a free kick. I hope farming's more lucrative in Japan than it is in the UK. Mind you, he'll have made his money as Japan's coach.
That's off. That's the break.
And that's it. First half of extra time is over. Paraguay 0, Japan 0.
Well, I'd say Paraguay slightly edging it again. Best chances to Paraguay. Honda had a good free kick. But that is it. The 2 tired teams. And I think mentally now both teams are looking at the penalties.
Yep, now's the time to draw up that grid for penalties. Paraguay 0, Japan 0, half time, extra time.
The second period of extra time is underway. Japan have made their final change. So we've had our last substitute of the game. Tamada has replaced Okubo. And Tamada is a striker, though he's taking up a similar position to Okubo. That's down the left-hand side of the flimsy Japanese attack, which really only has Honda, properly in a striking role.
I don't know the feeling of pace or just the tactics they've had today, Alan, but I've seen them play against Cameroon. They were exciting, they were great on the counter-attack. They had bodies flying forward all the time. Today I don't think they felt the pace. We're playing the same team every game. It's took it out on the legs, but they've been very negative.
The goalkeeper, Kawashima, takes a free kick and, typically, picks it straight out of play. It has been a really poor game of football. And, you make a certain allowance for the nerves that have got to be there, considering that both teams are playing for a place in the last 8 that neither country has ever had before. But nevertheless, surely they're better than this. It's out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. He's given a free kick.
Yep.
Yeah, he's given a free kick for a foul on Okazaki. Not much of a challenge, but it is once more another opportunity for Endo to deliver it well. Like you, Chris, I regret that he hasn't an opportunity actually near to goal.
Well, they don't get the ball high enough up the field to get near the goal.
Endo to take it. 13 minutes of extra time remaining, and then it'll be penalty kicks. So Endo from the right. And again, the 2 central defenders have gone up, Nakazawa and Tanaka. Endo waits. The referee watching for pushing in the penalty area. Tells them to get on with it now. Endo still waits. Now he comes, right-footed, low trajectory, poor free kick. One of the poorest he's hit all day. But Japan still on the attack, and then it breaks down as finally Paraguay knocked the clearance over the halfway line, and it's all the way back to the goalkeeper.
Glimpses of Honda trying to link the play up. Japan, that's the only way they look like they're going to score. The set piece, and the deliveries as the game's gone on has got worse.
Honda, to me, has been the best player out there, and yet he's had no support. The ball's flicked towards the substitute Tamada, but overhit, and it rushes through to the Paraguayan captain Villar, the goalkeeper. All in green. And at this stage, are they thinking, you've been in this situation, Chris, extra time, are you thinking already, I'd rather have penalties than lose it?
You hope you get the ball in the right area where you can deliver, but there's basically the risk factor comes in. You don't want to give it away, especially deep. So the game gets scrappy because you end up just clearing your lanes, playing the ball long up the field, just getting it away. And you just hope it falls to somebody who can do a little bit of magic.
Okazaki fouls Morel, the left back for Paraguay, so the free kick for the South Americans. And they move players forward, including Alcaraz, the central defender. De Silva stays back. Alcaraz waiting now on the edge of the penalty area. Quite a run-up for Morel, and his coach pacing anxiously in the technical area. Here comes Morel, playing it in low, headed on, should be easily caught, but the goalkeeper is. He falls to the ball. That wastes a few seconds.
Why don't teams have two on the ball, work it down the lane, get a better angle to put it across in? He's crossed it bang on the halfway line on this left side. You can't get an angle onto the goal where somebody's going to come in and head it. It's not possible.
Endo to Tamada on the far side of the field. And then it goes to Nakamura. Back to the fullback, and then Tamada. That's a lovely back heel. Opportunity for Japan. Player falls over. He wasn't fouled. Another player falls over, a Japanese player. And they're looking for a free kick. They don't get it. In fact, the free kick goes Paraguay's way.
Osaki goes down, doesn't he, Osaki? He's looking for the free kick, and that's what they want. I think this is the only way they're going to score.
One opportunity close to the penalty area.
There was some good football. A great build-up again by Japan. There was a slight touch on the ankle. He could have got it.
Yeah, he might have got it for the second challenge, which you're just seeing a replay of now. In fact, we're not seeing it because they run out of time for the replay because the real action takes precedence. We've got about 10 minutes of extra time remaining here in Pretoria. It was chilly earlier, and now it's cold. Paraguay 0, Japan 0, and you look for some heat emanating from the pitch, the action on the pitch to keep you warm, but it's not evident. Paraguay have the ball with Alcaraz. Alcaraz turns, plays it back to his goalkeeper, and Villar with a clearance, right-footed, high towards Cardoza. Did that come off a Japanese head? I think it did. It's behind for a corner to Paraguay.
You've just got to concentrate now. There's a lot of tired legs out there. Concentrate, because I think, as I said before, both teams now realise this is going to go to a penalty shootout.
The quarter-final against either Spain or Portugal will be at Ellis Park on Saturday evening. Spain and Portugal kick off tonight at 7:30. Their match is in Cape Town. So the corner for Paraguay, taken by the left-back Burrell. So it's going to be left-footed in-swing towards the Japanese goal. It's played in well, but the header was in the end weak by De Silva, wide of goal.
Well, decent delivery by the full-back, Morel. And he just couldn't direct it. It's hit, more or less come off his back. He's turned his head on it just at the last second.
It did. His back. Didn't get his head on the ball at all. So we're just running down time. 8 and a bit minutes to go. The game actually hasn't deserved a goal. They could have gone straight to penalty kicks. Put their heads together before the match and say, look, we don't want to make it painful for the watching millions across the planet. We don't want to make it painful for the 30,000 or so inside the Loftus Versfeld Stadium here in Pretoria. Let's go straight to penalties.
Exactly, that's twice he's just dived. That was it. That was unbelievable. I can't believe the linesman bought that.
He bought it.
I can't believe it. Great delivery
by Okazaki.
Good angle for a delivery.
Again, it's not a shooting angle.
No.
But it's good for a cross for Endo from the right. A word of encouragement from his coach, and then he retreats. He's turned his back on what's going to happen over the next few seconds.
He's left a big gap to put that ball into. Paraguay's very high, very high.
Here comes Endo, right-footed, very deep towards the far post of the header, wide.
Headed back across the goal.
What a waste by Tanaka.
He heads it back across the goal. You've got 3 blue shirts running in for Japan. He's got to head it back across the goal.
The thing about Endo is that I can only count one corner or free kick that he's actually wasted. Most of the delivery has been really good. But he'd just have a shot and an opportunity to get one shot on goal. We haven't had too many goal efforts by Japan. Paraguay have dominated possession and goal attempts, of which there have been pitifully few. A little over 7 minutes to go here on 5 Live. Reminding you that earlier at Wimbledon, Venus Williams and Kim Clijsters both lost. Now we've got another yellow card for another Japanese player. It's Endo, and Endo would miss the quarter-final as well. Nakatomo received a similar punishment earlier.
The crowd booed. It was a bad decision. He's nowhere near the lad. Just have a word with him. Tired legs.
Well, I won't tell you what I normally think of Mr. De Bleeker in a regular Champions League season.
Hey, played a short one.
Over fussy. Anyway, the free kick taken short, and now Morel belts it towards the Japanese penalty area. The header was down, and it runs away from Cardoza, and it's through to the goalkeeper. A little over 6 minutes to go. We're not going to get a goal, are we? Can't see it now. Kawashima bouncing the ball before he clears it. Right-footed, helicopter overhead, looking down. It must be a wonderful picture from that helicopter, but luckily for the pilot, he's not having to follow the football game because he'd be bored, fall asleep, and crash.
An aeroplane, though.
Was it an aeroplane?
A little aeroplane, yeah. Honestly.
How can you tell the difference?
It had wings.
No, what I mean in the darkness.
Oh, sorry.
In the darkness, did you actually see the wings?
Yeah.
I know the difference between a helicopter and a plane.
Oh, no, it was free kick.
Awful free kick taken by Paraguay, goes straight out of the play for a throw-in. You see, it's getting silly now. We've had to endure a tortuous game of football heading towards its 122nd minute at just 5 minutes away, and it's been awful. Absolutely awful. Up with the best of this World Cup. Remember England and Algeria?
Oh.
Portugal and Ivory Coast? Brazil and Portugal?
You did all them games.
I did all of them. I'm the scud. Japan had the ball. At least they had the ball. Then a goal tackle by Barreto, and the ball squirts away to play on the far side of the field to throw into Paraguay. Both teams look exhausted.
I don't know what the records are like in penalty shootouts, so...
No, neither do I. I went straight to bed last night. Didn't prepare for this game. I was so cream-crackered after Brazil and Chile, which was an excellent game of football. Good to see Brazil hit that kind of form. Here's Honda on the far side of the field. Player De Silva hacks at him. But, there's a counter-attack here for Japan. As Honda was fouled. No free kick given. And then De Silva gets back. Ball still breaks inside the penalty area. Endo brings it through. Opportunity for Japan. Terrible cross. Nakamura was waiting. Ball didn't reach him. Now it's played back in. Honda let it down. Hits the post in it. No, the referee's already blown for a free kick.
Under-pushed. Oh, hey. Why didn't he shoot?
Don't know.
Nakamura, wasn't it? Nakamura goes in. Why doesn't he shoot? The goalie comes out, lifts it over him. He's pulled it back to nobody.
I think he fancies a penalty shootout. I think he said, I've never had that experience in my life and I really want to see what it feels like. What does it feel like, Chris?
I'll tell him to score.
It's agony, isn't it? Such responsibility on the shoulders of each and every individual player walking up to take penalty kicks, that knowing that his team could either go through in a World Cup or go out of a World Cup. Both Paraguay and Japan on the verge of history. Neither of them have been in the last 8 of the World Cup before, but one of them will be, presumably not at the end of extra time but at the end of a penalty shootout. And things are slowing down now. They know the clock is running out of time and they don't want to take a risk of conceding a goal. Either of them. Villar hits it upfield. Good control by Valdez. Valdez crosses into the Japan penalty area. Excellent header away.
Handball.
Handball then. And that was deliberate handball by Riberos.
That is a yellow card.
At long last, actually.
Riberos.
I don't know what Martino, the Argentine coach, is complaining about. Earlier, there should have been another yellow card for a deliberate handball. That was blatant. Whereas I couldn't see anything wrong with what Honda did earlier. Free kick to Japan. 2.5 minutes to go here in 5 Live. Before the shootout. Kawashima in no hurry at all to take the free kick. Waiting till the referee tells them to get on with it. The referee does so. Finally, the goalkeeper reacts. Sluggishly moves toward the ball and hits it as far upfield as he can. And another shameless attempt to try to win a free kick there by a Japanese player, rightly ignored this time by the Belgian referee.
Again.
Throw in taken by Japan. Kamano goes down. Kimono's what his wife wears, and it's hit upfield by Paraguay, and a squirted clearance out of play by the goalkeeper Kawashimi. Throw into Paraguay. Back to Valdez. Challenged by Honda. Valdez gets away from Honda. Plays it infield to Barreto. Forward to Cardoza. About 25 yards from goal. He chips it into the penalty area, and that's going to be allowed to go behind for a goal kick.
Both teams lacking ideas, aren't they, when they get over the halfway line. They play very narrow as well, the 3-4 Paraguay. They don't get any width.
90 seconds remaining, and I swear that a number of seats that were occupied during the first half are now vacant. People have left the stadium in Pretoria. Maybe they think they get back in time to watch the penalties on television. Will we get back in time to see Spain v Portugal, which we hope will be infinitely better than this? Full commentary on that, of course, at 7:30 and 5 Live, followed by a preview of the quarter-finals. And there'll be many better games to come than this one. Paraguay 0, Japan 0. 1 minute of extra time remaining. The ball's inside the centre circle. At least it was. And then it's flicked toward Tamada. Tamada is beaten by the challenge of Bonnet, and it's hit upfield by Paraguay. Then it's back inside the centre circle. And it's brought down off the chest by Endo. That's a very good ball to the right side, and Honda. And Honda running in field and passes forward, but he couldn't find his shirt in blue, and it's cleared by Paraguay, at least temporarily. Brought down well by Valdez. You wonder why he didn't start the game. Such a busy figure since he came on. Valdez scurries into the opposition half, then he loses it, and it's taken up by Honda again. Maybe there's still time for one of these two teams to make a terrible error. There's a free kick for Japan, and this surely will be the last action in the game before we have penalties. The referee's glancing at his watch. Can't have blown for time yet, has he? He does now, before the free kick. So we will have penalty kicks, Chris.
Well, both teams hit the floor, look, hands on knees. They're all sitting down. Both coaches are not happy. They didn't want penalties, either team, you can see that. And it's down to the goalkeepers, and obviously a little bit of nerve and a little bit of luck.
Well, the game got the scoreline it deserved after 90 minutes, and again after extra time, 0-0, and shortly we'll head for penalties.
And the preparations have been made. We've had more huddles. I think we've set a new record for World Cup huddles today. The players have been going into huddles at every available opportunity. And the two goalkeepers, Kawashima of Japan, stands in the centre circle next to his teammates, who all, rather strangely, I mean, this is preparation, have been given black coats to wear.
He made to take them off.
And the referee says you've got to take those coats off. It looked like something out of Harry Potter when they all went into the centre circle together in their long coats, but now they're having to get rid of them for some reason or other. And it looks as though Paraguay are going to take the first penalty of this shootout. Or is it to be Japan? Oh, they haven't tossed the coin yet. The captains are there, aren't they? Villar, the goalkeeper, and Hasebe of Japan. And that is why just one goalkeeper had moved away into the penalty area, because the other one is the captain and is involved in the toss. So the two players there, they're certainly making them wait, Chris. You know, it's obviously a nervous time now, really anxious time for those involved in this, and it's not happening swiftly.
No, I don't know if he's got a coin, the referee. It's taking that long. There we go, he's going to toss the coin now. Coin in his right hand, Frank de Blickera. The Paraguayans win the toss first. And you think they will take the first one? Yes, I'm sure he said first. If that's what he said it very quickly and very confidently that it would be their first, that it would be Paraguay to take the first ones. And that certainly seems to be the signal that he's given to his teammates there. Well, one or two of his teammates, I noticed Morel has come across, who, as we mentioned during the course of the game, appears to be the leader of the outfield players. He was straight across to Villar to congratulate him and wish him the best. So Kawashima takes his position in goal, and he's got penalty saving form at the moment. If you remember, in the friendly before the World Cup against England, he saved from Lampard, and in the last match he saved from Thomason of Denmark. Paraguay will take the first penalty of this shootout. It's Edgar Barreto, winning his 50th cap today, having come on as a substitute. Runs his fingers through his hair and waits to take this right-footed for Paraguay. Here he comes, Barreto for Paraguay, right into the bottom corner. Goalkeeper dived the right way, and down onto his knees he goes. Paraguay 1, Japan 0 in the shootout. Well, terrific penalty, hard and low. Goalkeeper went the right way, but the sheer power and the way he put it in the bottom corner, nobody was going to stop that.
Well, it's Endo, the dead ball specialist, who will kick off Japan's penalty sequence. Gamba Osaka player, and he's been really good with everything else he's kicked today. Endo, with Justo Villar, the captain of Paraguay, being told by the Belgian referee precisely what he will accept in terms of movement on the goal line. Endo's run-up is going to be very short. Paraguay already lead 1-0. Endo no more than 3 paces from the ball. Here he comes and he shoots carefully to the left of the goalkeeper. It's 1-1.
Wow, what a penalty that was, by the way. 3 yards, 3 step up. What power hits that within. Nobody saves that. Goalie goes the wrong way. Great penalty.
Striker next, one of the strikers, Barrios of Borussia Dortmund, will make the long walk from the centre circle. Tall figure in his white boots. The ball's been left next to the penalty spot, and he's there now. So it's 1-1 in the shootout after 1 penalty each. Long run up this time. He's in the D. Hands on hips. Barrios for Paraguay. Oh, he went with the side foot and he's found the net. Goalkeeper dived the right way. It just evaded Kawashima. 2-1 Paraguay.
Just for a second there, I thought he was going to save it. He went the right way. It's just hit his left hand. Just couldn't keep it out. Not a strong enough wrist. Goes in the bottom corner.
Right, now it has to be the Japanese captain from Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga. That's where he plays his regular football. He's only thinking about his country now. Japan trail in the shootout, but this to bring them level. Villa just steps a couple of yards in front of his goal line, being told to retreat. You're not to delay, according to the referee. Has to be. Longer run up. Shoots. Oh, good penalty kick. The goalkeeper went the right way, towards the right, but it was struck so fiercely he couldn't get anywhere near. It's 2-2.
It goes over the goalie as well. It's a good height. Goalkeeper goes low to his bottom corner. He hits it a little bit higher. Probably middle of the goal to the bottom corner. Goalkeeper no chance again. Standard's been very good. Pity the game wasn't like this.
So 2-2 in the shootout. Hasebe just congratulated by his teammates who are standing on the halfway line. It's going to be Riveros for Paraguay next. Will play for Sunderland next season. But here now in Pretoria, it's all about the red and white stripes of Paraguay. He is standing on the edge of the box in the D. Right-footed. Riveros right-footed and in. Goalkeeper went the wrong way. 3-2 Paraguay.
Well, very confident, didn't he? Jogged up. I think he had half an eye on the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper moves early. And he just hits it nowhere near the corner, near the middle of the goal, rolls it in.
What was that 5th set at Wimbledon? 70-68. I wonder how many penalties we're going to need here to decide who will play either Spain or Portugal in the last date of the World Cup. It's the right fullback, Kamano, for Japan. This to make it 3-3 again. It's a short run-up, like Endo's. And he plays it right foot, hits the crossbar, and it skips over the bar, and Paraguay have the noses in front. They lead 3-2.
Well, it's a good contact. It's a short run-up, terrific strike, a lot of power in it. Unfortunately for him, Kamano and Japan hits the bar and goes up into the crowd. Advantage Paraguay.
3-2 to Paraguay then, and they've had 3 penalties each. And it's Valdez next, another of the substitutes, another of the Borussia Dortmund players, as goalkeeper Kawashima stands with his hands on his knees, just flexes his knees, stands still. Valdez has put the ball, interestingly, at the back of the penalty spot, just inside the area to begin his run-up. Valdez now for Paraguay, blasts it into the net. Goalkeeper drops to his right, ball flies up high into the net, and he's down and punches the turf. 4-2 Paraguay.
That is a terrific penalty, wasn't it? A little bit of pressure after Japan has just missed. He's ran up and he's smacked that top of his foot laces, middle of the goal, high into the net.
Honda has a critical responsibility now for Japan, and this is going to be the first one that'll be hit left-footed. He has to score to keep Japan in the shootout. If he misses, or if it's saved, then Paraguay are through to the quarter-finals. He plays it beautifully into the centre of the goal, waiting marginally for the goalkeeper to move, and it's 4-3 Paraguay.
Wow, what a cool head that was, wasn't it? No panic there, did he? He just strolled up, looked at the goal, he never looked at the ball. Normally you look at the ball when he's striking, he's looking at the goalkeeper. The goalie goes left, he rolls it, slightly right down the middle. Great penalty. Bit of pressure now on Cardozo, come on as a substitute.
Cardozo scores this. Paraguay are through. After his great season with Benfica, full of confidence. Very tall man, big strides back. He'll take this left-footed He waits. Paraguay wait. Slow run up. And he's found the corner of the net. And Paraguay have knocked out Japan. It is sporting history for Paraguay. They are through to the quarter-finals of the World Cup for the first time. A wretched game, but the evening ends with Paraguay in joy and bitter disappointment for Japan.
Well, you've got to give the boy credit, Cardozo. He's always had a great season with Benfica. When he rolled up, I thought he's walked up to it, he's waited for the goal kick, no, very similar to Honda's penalty, rolls it in the opposite corner, terrific penalty. Not a great game. Paraguay progress.
So Paraguay are through. They will go to Ellis Park on Saturday, I beg your pardon, Saturday night, to play Spain or Portugal. And you have to feel for Japan. Their players out there are consoling one another while Paraguay celebrate in one corner of Loftus Versfeld. Paraguay winners after the penalty shootout, 5-3 on penalties, 0-0 after extra time. Japan go home and Paraguay for South America go on.